Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change this morning ahead of this June CPI number. We're going to get here imminently. We'll touch on that here in a second. The market also digesting the first of the Q2 earnings reports coming from Goldman Sachs and JPM this morning. Both beating handily expectations. We'll talk about the banks coming up here, but pretty impressive number, especially from Goldman Sachs. PepsiCo, another one reporting earnings this morning. That one up about 2% in the pre-market. Markets coming off a decent start, positive anyways, to the new trading week on Monday. If you remember, we had the S&P back in record high territory, both the NASDAQ and Dow finishing higher on the day on Monday. Fed Chair Powell set to testify in front of Congress coming up both tomorrow and Thursday, so a bit of a wait and see as far as sentiment is concerned for the market surrounding that. And what we're going to do with Boeing, back to the downside again today, new problems or additional problems for the 787 Dreamliner. We'll talk about that coming up this morning as well. It's Tuesday, July 13th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. As I said, a little changed overall as far as U.S. markets are concerned. Bit of a downtick there for the S&P 500. We have the Dow basically flat, NASDAQ as well. Little changed at this point as we get this June CPI reading. TSX futures here in Toronto flat as well. To start off on a Tuesday, Brazil Open trading lower. We have cryptos back to the downside once again this morning, 1.93% in fact for Ethereum leading the way at this point. Overall, looks like we are a little higher than expected here, guys, for that June CPI number, 0.9% versus 0.5 expected. The year-over-year number, 5.4% versus 4.9. So a little bit higher than expected there, which has been the trend as far as inflation numbers are concerned over the past little while. But good morning. It's Tuesday, busy morning. Earnings to get to, finally. Q2 reports coming in this morning, both JPM and Goldman. I guess handily beating would be an understatement here.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Handily beating, definitely an understatement on both cases, but great look for Morgan. Well, I almost said Morgan Stanley, for J.P. Morgan and then Goldman Sachs, absolutely blowing it out of the water. You get a slight move down in the futures, off 100 points maybe on the NASDAQ now. After that inflation data just came out there, right into, I guess, morning support from yesterday's actions. Just a 15-minute chart of the NASDAQ. The ES. Similar move, but I mean, obviously with the inflation number like that, you'd expect the NASDAQ to have a little bit bigger of a dip there. So should be an interesting one because, again, the inflation numbers come through. I mean, I know lumber has calmed itself down a little bit, but yeah, there's still that data coming through with inflation, and we're still seeing the algos, well, I shouldn't assume it's the algos, but still assuming that there's going to be some of that quick snap reaction in the markets, and once again, you're seeing it here displayed in the NASDAQ. The futures don't like it, but it's not that much of a move.
No, hey guys, welcome back to the show. It should be a great one today. We're actually just picked up some Microsoft off this bottom. So this is the levels that we were looking for. Yesterday's bottom, 276.50. So we got 276.85 right here on a nasty little number coming to the downside there, as creating everything red. There we go. So I'm sitting here. That's me right there. 277.40 with those 100 shares there. We'll see if we can get filled now and make a little bit of a win here off the. There it is. Did we get filled? Yeah, we just got filled on Microsoft, I think. Anyways, did I get filled? No, did not get filled yet. So waiting. 277. We'll have to find out where it went there, but 276.50. Anyways, we're long Microsoft off that number. Let's wait to see where we go from here. But so far, so good on that release, and we'll just see. What happens. I like Goldman Sachs. I actually just pulled my bid. That's why I was a little bit flustered there, wanting to see what I was going to get filled in. I liked Goldman Sachs. I didn't even dip down, really. I like Goldman Sachs into this area. But banks are there, guys. It's going to be a big day. We're excited. I put up just like what Neil said there, big earnings, but not much happened. And then here's the recent poll for today. With recent JP Morgan and Golden State Warriors. What am I talking about here? Oh, Golden State Warriors, we're going to get that Siakam trade. That's what it was with Wiseman. I don't think that's happening. With recent JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs Earnings now out. Will the banks be higher by week's end? Yes or no? I want to see the vote here, where we're going to go. Let's just refresh this a little bit and see what we're at now with the vote. So 200 votes, 61% of you guys think that the banks will be higher come week's end. We have them all coming through. We're going to go over JP Morgan, go over Goldman Sachs numbers coming out soon, but it should be a good one. Just have to figure out, I'm trying to do some dip buys here. So we got Microsoft. We didn't get a few other ones. We're looking at some major cap tech names. Yeah, Zila's starting to finally move here a little bit. I'm trying to take that breakout of the high. We'll wait to see Zila. Zila maybe coming back to the downside as well, 360, but a whole bunch happening. 20 cents in the money right now on Microsoft. I thought I got filled for more shares down here, but I guess I did not.
Yeah, Tesla, another one, guys, just came in full percent there. It was up nicely early on, but back to basically where it ended the session yesterday. Very, very strong, though, yesterday, obviously. We'll talk about Tesla coming up here as well. Before we do, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning and happy trading day to you all, guys. I wish you a lot of profitable opportunities on the market today. Please make sure to like this video right now, and let's get it started, Brandon.
Yeah, let's indeed get it started here, guys. Lots to discuss. We have lots of these little low float, tiny companies moving around again this morning. Some of them we talked about yesterday. With very little to no news catalyst other than the fact that they are being mentioned online. It would seem there's this BAOS, which is another little tiny Chinese media company. There's that Orbsat with a little bit of news this morning going absolutely crazy. Was watching here, it just went through about 6 million shares on a dark pool print dump at 8:30 there. So big volume already for OSAT, but earnings, finally, guys. We have JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, the two big ones. PepsiCo reported. HBI, Hanesbrand, upgraded ahead of earnings today, but a 50% increase in EPS for Goldman Sachs. What do we do with 50% increase?
What was that ridiculous word I was saying yesterday? I can't even remember now. I had like a really cheesy thing for, it wasn't zonks or like yoinks or wow, I don't know. I mean, I have JPM up because my chart actually looks a little better on JPM. But look, Goldman Sachs, it's an absolute monster of a beat, and it's clearly not going to be reflected in the price. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not going to be reflected in the percent move that you're going to see. Only 0.5%, and it's basically been teetering here. Now, ignore those dark pool wicks. I mean, it's been a very, very clean trend to the upside. The way I'm sort of differentiating some of these names, I look at like the Morgan Stanleys, JPMs, and we still have to wait for Wells Fargo. Is you have some that are within closer striking distance of those tops, like those highs. Oh, I want to show the pandemic bottoms here. And some of the like Wells Fargo that just can't seem to recover as well and look as strong. So I kind of would rather play into the strength and just say eventually, the good numbers have to catch up. It's worth keeping in mind that they all passed, well, almost everybody passed stress tests, increasing dividends, whatnot. I know Morgan came out on top in terms of how big the increases were, but across the board you will see that trading volumes could be a slight bit of a drag. I'm talking about Morgan Stanley there. But I feel like any weakness on just about any of these names, I might not include Wells Fargo and Citigroup this week in that, but I think there's going to be dip buying opportunities. Now, I like JP Morgan as well here. I know we're talking Goldman Sachs because they had the absolute blowout number, and if you go in, that 15-minute chart, that's the reason we can't do it. If you kind of stick with this, you can kind of see here, I would look at like anything in the 370. I think anything gets out of hand. I think on the day trade, I did like a JPM dip a little bit better. Just because if my 15-minute will show up, nope, I'm going to go to TradingView because that's going to work out here. Yeah, I just kind of feel like I'll pop the 15-minute in here in a quick second, but I just kind of feel like JP Morgan had the better day trade for me in there off like a 155 in terms of a dip. But any kind of crazy sell-off, I think, is going to be a good one for the banks to be able to pick some shares up. They did not move whatsoever on that inflation spike, which I think would be expected. If the market bounces back, maybe you'll see a little bit of maybe some downward drift in them. But I'm sort of seeing the ES NASDAQ holding up pretty much at that support level from yesterday. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be too much of a shock. I just feel like everyone knew these guys were going to blow the numbers out of the water. Everybody had already seen them pass the stress test. And this was, it's not a sell the news because they're up, but it just feels like they're not getting the love they deserve. And that's the only way I can think about it. So I want to be buying weakness. And I'll do the same thing with Pepsi hand over fist.
I mean, Goldman Sachs, $5 billion, 3 months ended June 30th, $2.25 billion last year. Earnings, 15 from 6. So that's a double, roughly a double on the earnings per share. But JP Morgan was almost a triple on earnings per share from last year, right? So I think JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs both equally blow these numbers out. I mean, JP Morgan beats them, like I was saying, per share there. So on the expected earnings, and then profit of $10 a share. I mean, everything's going through, man. Goldman Sachs, crazy numbers coming through on the bank side, on the lending side. Goldman Sachs wins, biggest investment bank on the street, so they get all that deal love from record deal making last quarter as well. So nice little moves of Goldman Sachs. I mean, we're just looking at it right here from this side of things. That taking out this 384, it's right here. It's on the sticky note today. I like a 384 beat here on that move. Now Microsoft's going nicely as the market's rebounding back. So we're already 30, 40, 50 cents in the money now on the softy trade. Goldman Sachs 0.4%, which is nothing. Banks generally, you know, they're not super impressive on the days after. So I don't know. I'm really interested to see where we go from here. Would love to pick some up. I mean, this is exactly what we put on our sticky note here today, guys. Yesterday, 384 top. So we have to be able to beat that, obviously, with a better number, right? So we beat that top with a better number, and then we look to get dip buys if we can get to 377, something like that, into this area, 378, 379. Yesterday we dipped, you know, we started off horrible. The Dow was down early, and then we rallied. I mean, Goldman Sachs rallied 12 bucks here to the top, actually $14 to the top, 12 to the close, and then you just had some of these areas here, 380, something like that. So that's a decent buy. Then this consolidated area here is where we're hoping that we can get some longs in, 378, 379, things like that. So right now, Goldman Sachs is what we like, and Microsoft is what we have on board right now, as we picked up basically the very bottom, 376.84. You're now printing 43s. So, hey guys, welcome to the jungle. This is already a 60-cent kind of day. So although it's a little early for pizza, depending on where you're located, there's another one for Microsoft there on that buy. So we'll see how far it can go up here, but I'm happy to hold this on a nice little move to the upside now. 70 cents in the money on Microsoft.
Just a heads up, guys, anyone looking at JP Morgan, currently the conference call is underway right now for JPM. So heads up there. I want to talk about ConAgra brands if we can real quick here, guys, down 3.5%. They also reported no real significant volume here in the pre-market, but I mean, the actual numbers were in line with expectations, but it was the full year forecast. They were just raising questions in regards to demand going forward for the rest of the year, but pretty choppy mess here on the daily chart for CAG.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to lean into volume pretty heavily, and that's one of the things. Like, I know earnings season is going to be big, and I know we're going to try to cover every single story, but I mean, ConAgra, the daily chart's going to say a little bit about the story here, and it's been rather weak, and the trend is clearly the downside. And we talk about clusters all the time. That's the kind of name that will get interesting to me, about $2.50 lower, and then maybe you look for some support levels there. Daily chart loading up pretty nicely. I did mention very quickly, we have a lot to get to. Of course, we have earnings, and we have all of these. I don't know, I guess we're calling them meme stocks. I don't know if Zila, I guess, qualifies as a meme stock, I suppose. But this one this morning was interesting because it had a 360 level, and I'm sort of looking at after, you know, yesterday in the afternoon action, it had that 335 breakout. You had a bit of a top here, 360, and then try to break out after 4 o'clock. And then we're holding that same price multiple times in a tight range. So I bought a couple times, scalped once, and then just got in again, 70s in front of that 60. I'll take some out on the way up to that high, but you know, Zila's been, I want to say, like an impressive one in terms of like how well it's bounced right back towards this 375 4 even area, and then looking to break back up past that 4. So, you know, I'd love to see it break 4 today. I'm already long. I could have actually taken 5 cents on it, but I'm looking to get out, you know, closer to that 80, that first third of the position, and then see if we can't play some dip buys off the open at 360. Zila, once again, you know, doing over 6 million shares in volume, right? And across the board, you got CRTD, and you got Virgin Galactic, and you've got OSAT, and there's probably a half a dozen other names that have done millions of shares. So that's where we got to be.
Where we should be, though, is there, and then we should be on Goldman Sachs, as it does. I mean, we were just talking. Oh man, I guess I got to make my trades before we start talking about levels that we like, because there's that 384. Like we just mentioned it, we could have hit it breaking 384, and there it goes a couple seconds before. Did you guys hit that level on me there with I'm not going long? There's the 384, like I mentioned it and it's gone. So that was literally a minute ago. So we'll see if we can get long back into 384 now. Wow, what a great break that was. Hopefully we can get some longs, but that was our #1 trade of the day. So hopefully that can come back in and we'll take that. But there it is. Hopefully some of you guys got that. Here we go. Maybe we can get it now. Some of this 384. Remember, it's going to be a little dangerous. Brendan, thanks for that update there on Morgan. Goldman Sachs now having their presser. So we'll see what happens there on their conference call. So that's going to be coming into play soon. Hopefully we can get long now. But look at the spread. This is really the danger of pre-market trading, which is why you can't be super sad when you miss a level. But that was an opportunity right there to grab it through 384, make that bump, and now you're just fading back in just a little bit here. Update on Microsoft now even higher as it's printing 277. 40s, so that's going to be a good trade for us as well coming through. But yeah, ConAgra, I didn't do too much work. We're going to look at Pepsi. I think that's an opportunity there as well. Low volume so far this morning, but we still have 45 minutes till the open.
All right, we still have this Chinese story lingering in the background, guys. I want to talk about NIO here real quick. Just saw this headline, 36KR Holdings, which is KRKR, not really doing anything this morning in the pre-market, but they did a deal partnering up with NIO for a podcast series that's going to air, I guess, on NIO Radio, which I didn't even realize was a thing, but apparently NIO has a radio network that is now going to feature podcasting, guys. So surprisingly, some of these EV names, I just looked at a few, NIO, one of them here, holding up decently strong. Even with this move down in the overall market, we're kind of back to where we were yesterday.
Yeah, basically flat. I mean, when you get the inflation number coming out there, maybe a bit of a dip down. Might have expected to see a little bit of price action. There was a move in NIO though. It's only because it was trading to the upside that I think we're going to be flat, but we just bounced off like a 46, and we're just checking back in on the daily chart. Now, this news isn't giving you too much action here, but we're kind of right in this range where good to hold, a good hold up of the stock at 42 there, but we're right in that range where it broke back out, and then I want to say failed through 50. I mean, it didn't. I mean, yeah, it failed through 50 there. So you're trying to get back to that level. That's going to stand out as a key one. But I love the fact that it's holding that 42 NIO. It's just pretty light pre-market volume here, and I'm sticking your neck out for NEO in the middle. When it does feel like it's trying to get back up off that 42, and I think maybe we'll probably retest 50 before we get to the 50 period on any chance we're at that 42 level. I just don't see the volume, and obviously that story I don't think is going to be the catalyst either. But I do see you guys did not have it on my list, but I just checked out that BLIN. I see it moving. I know that one's going to be on the top of people's minds because it just popped up, and this is like there's a million of these every single day. So Bridgeport now 3 million shares done. There we go. It has made this spike before, but this is just coming again. Another one of these impressive. Like it falls all the way back down, gets cut in half, and then you're making another solid run off the bottom here. So it's on my radar. BLIN. It was cheap locates, so it only get some locates on this, up 55%. Only 3 million pre-market volume, but a lot of that just happened in like the last 20 minutes or so, marching towards that $10 level. I don't have any obvious dip buy prices. When it gets closer to the open and we can get some levels on this one, BLIN's added to my list.
Yeah, we also just went into Disney right now as well, so we're into that name, and whatever. We'll have to see where it goes. It's 10 cents in the money now, but with the spread, we are long right now, 184.21, so printing 27, so 6 cents in. Let's get a quick opportunity here. So long Microsoft, long Disney. I'm going to stick with the high quality names into this market today. Just to look at the imbalance locator here, DD. We traded that actually pretty well the last couple days, but yesterday we did take a hit right at the end of the day because it just kept going down, down, down. Here, that's Disney still. Oh, come on, switch it up. Yeah, there's DD. We trying to support this level. We were able to get it long here, some out here, and at the end of the day for a loser at the very, very bottom. So I guess we didn't trade it that well. We'll wait to see. There's not much happening on DD. You talked about NIO. Look, I mean, I made a lot of money on NIO, but just not really lately. We've been lucky enough to get out by the skin of our teeth. Here's perfect example. Here's yesterday. Good, my trade's showing up. So look, we get excited about NEO. We take the long, then we lose. This is a 50-cent winner. That's a 50-cent loser. So yesterday we were flat, and then the rally started at about 10:30 or so. So we can wait to see if that happens again today, making some bottoms, right? So open 46.20, bottomed 44.50. So that's a big travel there, back and forth. So we'll wait to see if we can't get that today. If you see the last couple, I mean, this is what look. I mean, why are my things saving today? The same thing happened. Like, look, I mean, it falls off early, and then here's 10:30, and then there's the rally back. So we'll see. And we just got out. This day, I think we might have made money, but just by the skin of our teeth here every single day on NEO. And then the day before that, see, this is the problem. This day, same move down, right? And then bang, right to the upside early this time. So 9.52. Either way, guys, you buying NEO on dips on the morning. Here's another dip that never stopped. So you're going to have to watch out. I'm not a buyer of NEO anything higher than normal. But if we can get NEO a little bit lower, like, 45.50, even into this 44.60 area that we had yesterday would be a good trade. Oh my God. This is going to be a fun one, guys. We're into Goldman Sachs. So okay, so we talked about being into high quality names. We're into Goldman, we're into Microsoft, and we're into Disney. So we've got 3 positions on. They're all long while the market continues to fall, but these are small positions. We don't take large positions. These are all the ones that are on our watch list. So we'll watch them out here. They're on the sticky note. Goldman Sachs, back and forth. We'll see if we can get a big winner on this one today. But I like the high quality names. I'm also watching that Zila. We've got a few other ones looking here. Disney, AMC, Space, Clover breaking through 10. There's lots happening, Brendo.
Yeah, just posted that headline, guys, on that Bridgeline Digital. Government agency in Singapore choosing one of their products for some of their work. So here we go. Upgrades and downgrades for today. A name we haven't talked about in a while, guys. Airbnb on this side of the board today. EA Illumina, we've traded many times in the past. This one, Ryder, holding up nicely this morning. I noticed not a lot of volume, but was downgraded today. UAL on here, and Deere, guys, to the downside.
John Deere, actually, I just all of those logs popping in for Sean made me check out my Pepsi bid just in case it was moving. And of course, Pepsi as usual is not going anywhere, but I'm sitting at 150.70 here. I'm sitting in front of 150.70 Pepsi with their earnings, of course, and we'll get to that in a bit, but on the breakout from a 150.70 top, and of course, they had earnings as well. Yeah, I say market coming back in, but we're still right back at that 14.8 level on the NASDAQ in particular. So not a ton crazy happening, but you did mention Airbnb. It's crazy. Like, I always find that, like, when I take a stock off of my list, my quote board, that's when we'll catch an upgrade or downgrade, and then it's going to be back out there. Look, I see a 150 failure on Airbnb, but look at the barcode action this stock has been doing. I kind of feel like this is one where, yeah, everyone loved it probably still loves it as one of those reopen style plays, and it makes a lot of sense to me. But sometimes it's better to get it when it breaks out instead. And if this thing can't get and hold above that 155, I like the fact that it failed a break in that price and is managing to hold support at 140. As long as that's the case, and it can hold up and there's no craziness in the market from there, you can catch a 155 potential break. That would make more sense to me when this would be an exciting trade. Although it is on the radar. I guess if it falls back down to like 125, 130, that would look pretty good.
Airbnb. Yeah, so guys, I mean, crypto. Yeah, you want to talk about crypto. I mean, support failing, yeah. I mean, it is failing because the support, I guess, that we want to talk about here is always going to be at this 2,000. But remember, this is crypto, guys, so we're going to wait to see what failing exactly means. I mean, I think you could fail harder. I don't even think this is a fail right now down to 2,000 because we've just been bouncing around here. We talked about this is the summertime, man. This is not the greatest time at all to be trading crypto. I mean, I can't even look at last year because it's just too crazy. But last year, again, we did have a nice move. Not much happening in June, July, and then it took off late July, and then it just started to go. It's going to be hard to look at every single month, but this is, a couple years ago, 2019, we did have a move down here into the fall, so that's like 370. I mean, look, we're talking about this is 2 years ago. We're talking about 370 high, right? So 370 high back there in June, and that faded all the way into November, December, started getting going again off the new year. The same thing happened this year as well. When you see, okay, there it is. Where's the new year? Here's the new year starting to go upside in the new year again. So I think that this is just a little summertime doldrum here. We'll wait to see what happens. But crypto, the real support I mean, look, we could keep going down. I am a bull on the crypto space. I did tell you that I got out of about 10 to 15% of my positions not this weekend, the last weekend. So same kind of prices. They were the same levels. But the point is that I still think that crypto holds like 1,500. And this is just ETH, right? So you got to look at different names. Cardano's still holding up really nicely here at 127. So just for you guys, Cardano's still holding out high. We can look at this 250 spot. I didn't get any out there. But again, I really think this is the home run. So I'm going to wait for this one to come back down to about $1. And then we have Bitcoin also right now making moves, guys, down. I mean, as they all move. 34,000 down to 32.4. So a little bit of a mover right now on the crypto space. So there's lots happening, and I think you just got to remain the course, stay patient with a lot of these crypto names. We haven't talked about trading any crypto lately. For me, I would just keep it simple. I don't know if we have Jeff. We might have Jeff this week, but we'll go to GBTC over there in the pink sheets. If you wanted something for Pink Sheet Nation here, you could see that this follows. I mean, it doesn't follow exactly. You could do your research on the grayscale, but GBTC is there. For me, it's this BTCC.B, which I guess I need to add to soon because I'm way out of the money on this one. I bought this when it first came out. I think it was like $11 or something. This is down to $6. This is a small. I'm in this light, but this is the thing that I like, BTCC.B. If you're going to try to find, that's right when it came out. If you're trying to find some crypto names that follow Bitcoin that you can put into a registered account, there's BTCC.B, and then what's the other one? .U. We don't quote the .U, but this is for U.S. funds. So if you have U.S. funds, you can go BTCC.U, and the same thing for ETCC as well. So lots of opportunities to get into the crypto space on both the pink sheets and here in Toronto.
We'll have Jeff next week, actually, Sean. Mr. Mendel from OTC going to join us next Tuesday, guys. So join us, won't you? For that, let's get into what is moving around in the pre-market. If you still need our morning note, guys, it's absolutely free. We send it out every single morning before we come on at 8:30. That is the link. You can go and grab that. View it as much as you want. Again, updated every single morning. The first name on that list today is going to be JP Morgan. The first that reported in the pre-market this morning. Earnings, again, as we said, blowout. What do we do with this thing today, guys? JPM, is there a trade here?
If things get extreme, I think maybe there might be. Look, it's not really doing a heck of a lot of pre-market volume. My 15-minute chart actually looking pretty good here for you guys to be able to check out that 150. Call it like a 150 to 152 range that I think is probably almost certainly going to hold up. If you talk about blowout earnings like that, and could you really trade below yesterday's low? Then I look immediately at this like 154 level, and that's the line I sort of have sitting in here. We fell into it. We've made a little bit of a bounce, but we're going sideways at a snail's pace on JP Morgan, so I don't necessarily anticipate that I might get this fill. I think it's a better chance that I get something in like in a Pepsi, at least based on where I want that support to be. So, I want to be able to pick this one up for the day trade at least. On some potential weakness, the market moving is not likely going to give you that with the banks because it's a reaction to that rate. Sorry, not to the rates, to the CPI there. So, I'm going to have my bid down there on JPM. If I catch it in front of 154 off that open, again, this is just yesterday's low, right? Like $4 from the close. And if we trade below that, I would be a little bit surprised. So I'll be buying in front of it. I just don't know that we're going to get an opportunity to do that. I don't see the momentum in this name. Pre-market to give me any kind of like a breakout trade. You're still $2 from yesterday's high and doing light volume. I can't see there being much of a breakout in JPM. So, and they're actually trading to slightly negative despite the blowout. So catch me for buying a dip, although I don't see it happening. If you didn't get a chance to buy a dip in the last like 15, 20 minutes on some of these stocks, then it might not be happening at all.
We're still pretty low here on the futures, so let's wait to see where we go right now. I think you can get. I just. Not to disagree with Neil, but I think that the futures could easily go lower here. So watch out buying some of these dips. Goldman Sachs, I just bought it, and I'm on the bid right now. So if you guys are interested in some GS here, I'm just into this one right where it is right now. So you guys can grab some of that. We just got into Zila as well on this 60 break, not break, but we're trying to hold this long. So down to 60, we're gonna hold it down here. Oh my God, I might sneeze in a second. I don't know where my sneeze button is. But okay, here we go. Get ready for this. Maybe not. Okay. Me. Okay, so there we go. So now we're long Zila. Now we should be okay. Long Zila 63. I got 4 longs right now. Zila, Goldman Sachs, Disney, and Microsoft. But we're talking a little bit about JP Morgan. I think the JP Morgan beat is just as good as Goldman's. It's just the volume right now. I just thought Goldman was taking, there goes that chart again. Goldman's at these highs and JP Morgan is not. So that's why I'm just going to choose Goldman right now over JP Morgan. So just breaking through this 384, that's the level that we like. It's now putting 384.60s. We're long 384.11. So right now we're 80 cents in the money or so if you take the ask, but we can't because we got to get printed first. So there it is, 384.79. So, that's nice little 70 cents in the money on this one. Zila's 4 cents in the money, or flat right now, was 4 cents in the money. But yeah, I like all the banks. I want to know what you guys think about the banks. We just put that in our chat there. There's still lots to come, and it's a pretty interesting thing because a lot of us hold banks in our account, and I'm not getting out of anything. I'm only holding JP Morgan plus a few Canadian banks on my registered side here in Canada. But with the recent JP Morgan, and remember I was like Golden State Warriors, but now I've got my bearings. Goldman Sachs earnings now out. Will the banks be higher by weekend? This is actually pretty split up. Only 265 votes. Let's refresh that here. 60-40 right now, so we're going to wait to see where we go. I think we can get a lot higher than that. My vote is actually going to be lower for the banks this week. So let's wait to see where we go. I'm excited for Goldman Sachs today, but again, with these futures coming to the downside, you can't ignore the market. So sometimes when we talk about what's happening here, and you see that I'm long 4 names, you got to fight. There we go. I just mentioned it right there. The futures could go lower, and then they spank lower. So watch out, guys. Hold your shares a little close now. Disney, we just averaged into the Disney trade right there. So now we're into more Disney here. I like what Disney did yesterday. 60 million Disney Plus for Black Widow, plus a nice little extra 20 or so on the box office side of things for Black Widow. So I want to buy good companies on this dip, but maybe we are just going down a little bit too much here. So NASDAQ down 0.43, ES down 0.4 as well. Quick check on the imbalance locator here. Very, very small. We're not going to get any support from the locator today. AMC on the sell side, Space, Virgin Galactic. We'll talk about that. That just keeps going down. What a trade that was yesterday. Short 48.50, guys. I don't know if that's, it's not showing on here, but that was a big trade for us off this break. So we're going to talk about Virgin Galactic soon. But right now I got 4 longs and only 1 in the money, and that's Mr. Goldman.
Good morning. To have a look at the overall market and talk to Arun here about the futures, see what we need to be aware of. We are heading to the southbound side, as Sean was mentioning. About 0.4% now, Arun, for the ES. What do we think?
Well, when a number like this comes out, and it's where it becomes more about inflation, right? And the whole talk is now about inflation, what the Fed is going to do, and this kind of strikes right at the heart of that whole topic. You're going to have an aggressive move. You're seeing it now, and then you're going to have to wait to see how the open comes in, because that will be very telling. Like, if you come in at the open and this move gets completely rejected, that there's underlying strength, willing to buy into this, and we're just going to shake it off and keep on moving. So I'm going to wait for the open to see how we kind of play off of this now. I've marked off some levels that I want to work with after the open. 43.80 is going to be the top end level. That's kind of where we've been hesitating. I saw it late in the session yesterday around that 75 area. There's a decent amount of activity up there. So that's probably going to be the area that I'm going to look to potentially take a short if we get that set up. Now, if we come down to the sell side, or if we keep on going, I'm looking at 43.50. So yesterday when we broke above 65.50 was the area I was looking to put a stop in. And that's the area that I'm going to be looking to hold if we can find a long here. Again, I'm going to wait for the open, and I want setups after the open. Doesn't matter the direction. It could be anywhere below 65 with a 50 stop is fine. Anywhere above 70 with the 80 stop is fine. Anywhere in the middle, I'm not going to want to get involved at that any point. But for now, we do have 2 levels to work with, and it's just a matter of which direction does this market want to go with, and how well are we going to accept or reject this number after the open. So 928, you're going to have the tech imbalances come out from the NASDAQ side. And then at 9:30, obviously the market opens. And in about 2, 3, 4, I would say in the first 5 minutes, you'll get a pretty good indication of which direction the market is going to favor, at least for the opening session, at least for the first half hour, the opening little bit. And if this is to the sell side, this could get ugly, because the way we've been moving allows for a lot of space to the sell side. So if I were to go below 43.50, the next closest level I've got is all the way down at 43.10. Well, around 43.10. So we've got a lot of space to move to the sell side if we do decide to go off on the sell side. And this is kind of a welcome retreat, because if we kept on moving at the same pace, it just opens up a window to the downside. And any day that we come in and we decide to sell, it could be very aggressive. So this is kind of like the first checkpoint. Can we hold on to this first batch of selling? If we can, this market has some strength, some resilience. We've got some sellers out of the way, and we can keep on moving up. So it'll be a very good test at 9:30 to see which direction this market wants to go.
Great stuff. Thanks, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Let's talk about Pepsi here, guys. Another one that came out this morning. With results, this is Q1 results, worth noting, for Pepsi. Still better than expected right across the board. Revenue up 6.8%, 4.82 billion from a year ago versus 14.5 billion expected. So a nice beat for PEP, up about 1.3 here.
Not always the sexiest name in the world, but certainly a defensive name there. And I love the pricing power that they got. A little bit better of a well, not pipeline, but product line than like a strictly beverage play like Coke. So I like this always. You got the right one, baby. Why not? So we'll go with Pepsi today. For the day trade, I already mentioned I have a bid sort of sitting in front of that recent high, that 150.75. And what I'm sort of getting at there is like if the stocks that were moving off of that number, we're going to continue that move to the downside. Now, Pepsi was holding up pretty well here, being a defensive name. So that's going to be what continues to happen. It's very light pre-market volume, so I'm going to leave my bid down there. I want to be buying the dip in front of that 150 level, starting at that 150.70, that previous high. I love the numbers that they had here. You were asked a question about names like for the Olympics, and I don't know that it's going to be a huge catalyst for them. I think it's overall just a good bet on the overall economy. That CRTD blew through like a 780 support level, which was a big level on the daily chart, and I couldn't get the breakdown trade. I just got that one short on the way back in. I kind of feel like if you get it late, it's not going to be good. But I want the Pepsi long today. I think it's a nice area that stock is in. I feel like if, like Arun said, if the market comes in and today and there's more room to the downside, there's much less downside in a Pepsi. So that's going to be one of those that you like on any weakness overall in the market, in my opinion here. And I'm sitting on the bid trying to catch a little bit. It's not always the best day trading stock, but if you can catch a bottom on it, there's still a couple of bucks you can get in some of these trades.
Yeah, it should be really strong, but again, not really moving too much. I don't really like the volume, obviously, today on Pepsi, 69,000 shares. Goldman Sachs now $1 in the money. Microsoft 15 cents in the money. Zila back to flat for me, so that's going to be a good trade. Yeah, Pepsi needs to get into here, man. 148. Like until I'm interested in this, 148 and change, 149. But I've already rested my head on some of these trades right now. I much prefer Disney to Pepsi. So let's just wait to see. Not much movement here. So whatever. If you can catch a falling sword and get this down to 148, then that'd be fantastic. We'll put some bids down there and hopefully we can get something. But a good beat, but again, just something to have in your portfolio. It's not for me. It's not even for the dividend. I mean, the equity is not really going to give you too much capital gains or anything like that. So I think it's just a nice name to hold. Obviously, consumer discretionary. So we'll wait to see where it goes from here. But taking out highs, a good report for Pepsi. Nothing to worry about if you're a shareholder. Just hopefully you get the opportunity to buy a little bit lower, because for today, it's definitely not really worth breaking any of these levels with only 69,000 shares done. But there goes Goldman, guys. We talked about it. Could have got long here numerous times. 384 and change. We're 11 right now, so this is $1.30 in the money. We withheld some of this Microsoft dipping down here. We actually had some lower bids, never got filled. 276.51 we were waiting at. It went to 55. Zila now back a little bit here. We did defend that 50 level, so we'll see about that. We're going to get out if it breaks here 330. That'll be a good spot for us. And then we did average into this Disney trade. This is the one that could fall even further, so we're going to wait to see Disney. For a Disney trade, I actually like this one into this area. We already talked about it. 180, 170, if I can get the daily chart up here. Rate this kind of top level here, 180, 185. 180, 85, so 181 or so. I feel like Disney can jump into that area, but we do want to have a long in case it does break here going into the open. Wow, here we go, man. We're in 4 positions, and all 4 of them now turning positive with a nice little Disney rip here. 183.99. We're long 183.80. So if we can get lower bids on Disney, we're there. Hopefully we can catch that falling sword. Much more than Pepsi. Volume similar though, man. Only 90,000. Not much happening, guys.
Let's go to Boeing, guys. Very active over the past couple of days for Boeing on a couple of different headlines. Today we're back to the downside, about 2%. They come out talking about further production delays when it comes to the 787 Dreamliner. They're now talking about delivering half of what they prior forecast for this year as far as individual planes are concerned for the 787 Dreamliner. Again, this was a quote-unquote new production-related structural defect on the 787 Dreamliner.
It just seems like we just keep getting a couple of good days worth of moves in like a Boeing, and then something shocks it to the downside and you get a retracement. It just can't seem to sustain any kind of, this is a daily chart, guys. It can't seem to sustain any one of these pops, and you're getting a bit of a downward trend back below the 50 period. And look, I like Boeing, I own Boeing, but 232 here to the downside on a breakdown trade. It's worth noting this was a resistance level going back into the end of last week, or I guess Tuesday there. So if it busts through that 232 on a momentum play, I mean, the market just bounced off the low, so maybe it looked a little bit more likely that was going to happen 20 minutes ago. That just sort of sets up, we're a dollar away from it, but it sets up as a bit of a short for Boeing here. And I can't remember the last time I shorted Boeing, to be perfectly honest with you. But that's what the setup looks like for me. But I needed to break that level. Its volume is actually pretty good. For Boeing, almost 500,000 shares done in pre-market volume and trending towards that bottom. It just feels like, yeah, play the momentum here with Boeing. Can't get married to the fact that I want this bad boy to recover and go back to that 300 level, which I think it will go in the long term. Just today, if it breaks that 232, I got to be looking for a short on Boeing. So that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, we didn't even write down too much Boeing. Like that's just. There's so many other names today, but Boeing's a good one to hold. I think you buy any dips on Boeing right here. We're at our highest spot we've been at all day right now, as we're 4 for 4 with these longs on a nice little recovery right there. This is not even a recovery. I mean, if we can get back up to here, then we can hit our daily goals before the market even opens. So let's hope for that, a nice little move backside here for Boeing, for Disney. Hopefully, that's going to be the big ones as we've averaged into Disney. So hopefully that can move. We'll wait to see here. But yeah, 232.50. Look, it's just been a bad little run here for Boeing. As it topped out a couple times at 260 back in April, 260 back early June, and now you're down to 230. So although it doesn't seem like a major move when you look at a chart like this, it still is percentage points, right? It's 10%, 15% down from these highs, so that's decent. And if you like Boeing, I think you can pick it up here. Wait, maybe a little bit lower. We'll see what this news is coming through. It's just that they're going to have a little more planes in inventory than they thought. There we go. Now Goldman Sachs is moving, guys. $2 now in the money off my number one trade. Remember I told you, remember when we missed it, I said 384 was my number one trade, and there it is right on the top. So hopefully Goldman Sachs can continue that move as we are long 384. It's printing 386.39 right now, 386.25. So we'll see if Goldman can't be a big monster winner today. Moved $12 yesterday, top to bottom. So we'll see if we can get a little similar move to that. We're at all-time highs now for Goldman Sachs. So we're going to hold this long. And here we go, man. We are now getting pretty lit up now on the day. So we'll just keep on ripping and roaring as we go. We still have a lot of names to cover, but Boeing's a buy a lot lower, guys.
All right, let's talk about Clover Health Investments. Back to number one on the Wall Street Bet sentiment list yesterday. Pretty impressive move here late in the afternoon yesterday for CLOV. Popped up, what time was this? About 2:30 or so, and ripped up to $10. So we're back to $9.50 here this morning for Clover. A lot of other ones in this group to talk about today as well. That XELA on the move. There's that WORX CRTD that created another one today.
I kind of think I want to go to like that CRTD. And I know Clover made its move, and if Clover goes again, let's just in general, when we come back for the afternoon show, we got to start concerning ourselves with like 130 and 230 and some of those moves and line some things up for that. But CRTD, well, I want to say a newer entrant to the list. It started going yesterday's action. Look, I am sitting in the short position, and this is that level I mentioned on the daily chart here. It's like 785-ish. It spiked up to that price, had a double bottom here, down around $253. You get back in, and it looked like, for all intents and purposes, we're about to make a run at that breakout. We test 950 a couple times, hold that 780 level on the daily chart. We come back, do a failed break through that 50 level, and then hold it. And then we're able to hold that 780 one more time. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if that happens, you're setting up very, very nicely for a breakout style trade. It then does break the 80 level here. In this particular situation, I'm taking a break down because it's a triple time, 3 times. And then I'm also looking for the breakout to the upside. Don't want to touch it in the middle. I missed the breakdown. I catch it on the way back up at 74, same order. And then it's held like 750. So I might scalp some out in front of that 50 level. It still has a chance, I think, because that 50 level has held up. It still gives you that chance of that breakout of the high of the day. So I don't want to run away from that idea. I'll give this only about to like an 820. I won't average into this at all, but I'll definitely scalp a little bit of this out on CRTD. It is a new mover. We've seen these extend for like 2 or 3 days ever since that SEC rule came through regarding those daily checks for shorts and any potential margin requirements or liquidity concerns. What you've basically seen happen is less of the bigger names on the squeezes, and you are seeing 2 or 3 day shorter term moves on a wealth of other names because they're now being checked constantly. That was the theory. It looks like it's been playing out here. So I want to make sure we're trading some of the newer ones that start popping up.
All right, let's talk about Disney here. Disney on the list this morning after that move yesterday. Pretty impressive rally late in the afternoon after they announced a price hike for their ESPN Plus streaming package and individual subscription. So Sean was discussing Disney here already, but worth a mention that we are showing a little bit of weakness early on here for Disney.
It is true. There is a cluster. Look, there is a cluster at that 185, but it gets you to like a 190 before I actually thought there was going to be resistance on Disney. It's just finally trying to break out. And I think that's going to be the key. I want to see it hold 180. That's going to be that key level for me. I look back to here, but then also think about what it looked like on the daily chart. Disney's just been a disappointment overall, and I've always believed it was a good recovery play. I think they're probably weighing a little bit too much into the streaming aspect of it. So we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a fantastic thing that they are out in front, especially going online with those releases. Although I haven't watched Black Widow yet, I am going to pay money this weekend to make sure that I go ahead and do that. And I think a lot of people are going to join that party. I sort of look at that. This turn at 185, and was my initial feeling was the pull down was going to be a little bit deeper than it has been so far. It's holding up at 183. I just think below there's some runway down to that 180 to 181 level, and that's what I want to be playing around with there. So I got a couple of positions on here. I am looking for a dip in Pepsi. We haven't gotten to, and I know we should. There's only 15 minutes to go. I need to jump down here because I think a lot of people all morning long have been saying OSAT. It might be the name that's been mentioned the most times in the chat this morning. So I do want to quickly get to it if I can. OSAT just made a bit of a break through this 1150 area, trying to get up to 1230. OSAT actually has news, guys. They're on our watch list there. But just to quickly get through it, if it dips down, I'm looking 10 for a dip buy, although that looked a heck of a lot better before it just broke out to 1230. So another volume spike for OSAT. I think it's the #1 leader in terms of volume. And I was just able to get like a 20-cent win quickly on that scalp trade for CRTD. So 750 still held, but doesn't mean we can't make some profit.
There it is there. We just took a nice little profit, so we'll start off with, I mean, we're in the money on everything, but we'll take in a little dime piece there on Zila. Now we'll hold now for hopefully a little bit longer or larger win than that, as average price was 59. We're out there 69 as it fading back in a little bit. So there's Zila. Now we'll see if we can take out the top. Maybe we'll take a piece out here, 385 or so. We are still looking to go long if it does take out that top move there. I heard you guys talking about Disney. I love Disney. We've talked about that over and over again. Some people asked on the Q&A if it was a buy. I said yes. It's taking out the 50-period moving average. So Disney is, for me, a nice little long spot here. I'm still in. I mean, I'm in this. It's one of my largest holdings, so I do like it. But 200, 205. I mean, the next time we get anywhere around here, I'm going to trim this position. So hopefully Disney can make that little move upside. And right now we're long 183.80. So we're just basically long at a flat spot here. With only 13 minutes to go. Imbalance locator. Virgin Galactic. I really like this to the short. Yesterday we were short 48.50. That was a great call there. Well, I mean, now it's $10 in the money. We can't hold overnight. But Alibaba also with a nice little move overnight as well. Wow, there we go. What's moving now? Oh, Disney's starting to go. Here we go. Now we're starting to get into the money here. 184.25 now on Disney. You can tell I'm excited as everything bumping now for me. But Baba has had a rough ride. Obviously, we talked about that a little bit. It bounced off 200 a couple times. It's still in this danger zone. We still need to get above 230. So I don't know. Yesterday, we took a nice little win on Alibaba. Today, it's back. You can see we averaged in all in here, and we're able to get a piece out up here at 206 and change our last piece. So that was pretty good. But here we go, man. We're 4 for 4 in the pre-market with still 12 minutes to go. I hope this market can battle back.
Well, let's talk Tesla, guys. We had an impressive move, to say the least, yesterday for Tesla. Right out of the gate was so strong. Closed basically day high, 686. We're back below that today, which is worth mentioning because this 686.5 ends up being a pretty good level yesterday late in the day. But Elon Musk set to testify again today with regards to the Solar City acquisition for the company. Didn't seem to matter too much, to say the least, yesterday that he was in court. He also said the company would die, his words, the company would die if he was no longer CEO. So, I mean, Elon-esque, I guess, comments again.
Look, Elon Musk says a lot of things that are interesting that I think, sometimes you have to calm down and be like, okay, it's not literally going to be true. I mean, he's always talked about he never even want to be a CEO. He had to be. He's an engineer at heart. That's probably very, very true. But, look, Tesla, we've been talking about that 700 level, since we had that original 635 break. We were looking like we were going to retest it here in the pre-market. And then, of course, we had a little bit of a dip in the market there that took us to the downside. So we're right back thinking about today, not 665 so much as like a I'm going to call it like 672.5, just because if I look at these bottoms here, they've extended through that 75 area. You can kind of see in the afternoon we dipped a little bit past that. So I think that's where I like that Tesla. 700 break is still going to be on tap at some point. It's just obviously less likely that you're going to catch it today. When I came in and sat down this morning, I was thinking 700 breakout on Tesla because we're trading a lot higher. And now that we've dipped back down, I got to think about the bottom end of that range, that 72.50 area that I just mentioned on Tesla. I don't think it's the Solar City story is not a gigantic one. At the end of the day, the optics look poor, but the stock has performed mightily well, despite that looking like not that great of a deal. So I guess it's in the news. I want to trade the price action on Tesla, and flat on the session doesn't interest me, but I'm certainly interested about that mid to low 70 area. And we've just now broken through that 750 on CRTD, so it's now 50 pennies in the money. That would have been a break to the long side, but once it took out that level on the daily, that 780 level, we had to be short, so we got the 74s. Only short I got on board here today is that CRTD. Everything else, Zila got along, and I'm looking for dip buys at this point.
Yeah, Tesla. Look, I was talking about buying this thing, and we did buy some of this down near the 600 level. So you're in the money right now, 15%. I just think you keep buying Tesla on any dips. So that's what we've been doing here. We didn't buy it this time. We bought it recently down in here. So now we're just averaging into our already long position. So I just think Tesla just keeps being a buy. Their cars are super, super popular. I don't need to tell you that. I liked that Indian story for India moving into that region. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago there. So that was a good little catalyst for me as well. So I just think, look, the more money that's out there, the more people will buy Tesla. There's all these other cars coming. There's no doubt about that. But hey, look, first mover advantage. Tesla's been here for 10 years or more on this side. So let's just wait to see where we go. I still think there's more to come on their solar units and what they're doing with housing and batteries. And there's just more to come here. That's all. I don't like, though, that Elon talk. I don't like the fact that he's saying that, without me, this company is nothing and blah, blah. Like, you're not going to hear many CEOs, in fact, probably none, say that. So, because that's not good for shareholder base, because something could happen to Elon. He could go crazy. Possibly already done that. So, and he leaves. And so, you're waiting for those drop of those tweets. You're waiting for something crazy there. I think Tesla's just a continued buy all the way in. We're above the 50-period moving average. As far as the day trade is concerned, though, like I said, those comments, I don't like those. But if you can get above the 687.25 right now, yesterday's highs, then I do like that for a momentum long. But I'm already hella long everything. So I think we'll hold off on Tesla and just see if we get better price action and can buy something cheap. But I don't want to pay up right now, considering I'm 4 times long.
All right, few small caps, bottom end of the list this morning. That BAOS, really no significant news on that. Just seems to be a low float. It's a Chinese media stock up big time this morning. Heads up on that. This Orbsat, though, making their debut on Alibaba's platform with some of their products. Just made a day high there, 1240. 11, watch 11 here, 1150 as well, a decent level. Not a short until it's well below 11 and holding below 11. Otherwise, this thing has room to run. If you look at the daily chart, I mean, we're in no man's land for OSAT, guys. Back to you.
I tend to agree. I like 1080 on that one. I know like $11 makes some sense as well. I like 1080 on any kind of a dip. It's just testing that high off the open. Orbsat, 20 million shares in volume is going to be a big one, of course. We've talked about Tesla. I don't know. We didn't get too deep into Virgin Galactic, but that just spiked as well to the upside. just to note, we're ways away from that 930 rollover trade that we had yesterday off of that 51 area. But today it's set up pretty similarly. If you look at 41, this is just about where it closed in yesterday's action. We're sort of gravitating back in towards that 41 area. Tried the long off the bottom yesterday to some success in the afternoon show. So I'm looking for a potential failure off of that 41, that same 930 type of idea. If it takes out the top, you just simply get out. Doesn't mean I'm going to automatically go into a breakout long position. I'd much rather see this thing getting back over that 42 level. If you can sort of see here past lunchtime, zoom in, maybe see a little bit better. Past lunchtime, 42 was definitely some resistance. It's just barcoded, held the low of the day, and then broke down. So 42, I'd be a little bit more bullish that some buyers have stepped into this one. For me, it's that 930 rollover, pressing into that 41 area. But wait patiently until the market opens for that trade in Virgin Galactic.
Actually, I'm just seeing it right now. I got to change my order. It's actually, I wrote down here 42 off of resistance is going to be the long. But now that I look at this chart here, it's actually this level here, 41.50, not 42. So 42 is up here, 42.25. It's actually this spot that I like, 41.50. So a 41.50 long is a good spot. I mean, 41.20 right here, also a good spot. But I'm going to go long 41.50 right there. Also looking at a 38.50 short. So, I mean, if you just go over here to a 20-minute chart, you'll see how much time do we have? 4 minutes. Okay, lots. You know, this is the 42. I mean, this is the 42 area right here. So that's probably what we're looking at. But I don't mind a 41.50, which is yesterday, which is right in here. And then for some reason, I guess the bottom must have been this 38.50 right there. So in the pre-market 38.50, that could come faster than we think. So I don't know. We'll wait to see what happens now. Goldman Sachs fading back in. This is going to be an interesting open here as we see where some of these stocks go. We do want to buy some of these names a little bit lower than where they are right now. 38.50 right here on space. So let's see if that comes through. So I'm going to be long 41.50, short 38.50. So there's a little bit of talk there on space. Good thing we did take out some of that Zila at 369. That was a good little scalp for us. Bang, bang, bang. So, you know, that's my number one position, realized position right now. Microsoft is a good one. I just wish I had more shares. I thought I got filled more there. I didn't. So we did cancel. That did go more than $1 plus in the money as NASDAQ starting to rebound back upside. We'll see if we can get back up to 278 and change, but we're long down here. So that was a good pickup. And again, this is like know your book, right? Know what you want to trade. As soon as this CPI number came out with the NASDAQ, I just went right over, not with the NASDAQ, but this is the NASDAQ. That's the NASDAQ falling down. So the CPI comes down and I just go right in and I try to find some levels here on Softy, go back to yesterday where we wanted to buy it and we were able to pick up pretty much the bottom there. So we did have another bid down here, 276.50, that didn't hit. But now we're going to the upside, $1 in the money now on Microsoft. So that's a good little rebound buy. We thought we'd get the same action on Disney and on, we're in the money on everything, but we're going to wait to see. This is going to be a big trade, hopefully for me. 383, 382. We could get longer in here on Goldman. And then if we're going to be wrong on the banks haven't traded well off earnings. I know that. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a warning there. I just, you know, I thought this could go. It did go. We did have $2 in the money. It's come right back in. So let's see if we can protect this around 380, 381. We're going to dig into Goldman Sachs, guys.
And just a key level here on that CRTD. After it broke that 780, we pointed that one out. 774, I got to the short. This is yesterday's high at 720, 725, let's call it, because I like those round numbers. And it just bounced off of this level. So if we hold a level like this one as support, no average in on the pop up side here, I would simply cover like an 8 even. I've already got a bid in front of this $6 price, so I'm ready for this one. If it breaks that 725, I think we can get down to that $6. I think it's $1.50 worth of a winner if the short is going to work out. But remember what this did in yesterday's action. Pumped up off the open, halts, upside, halts, and then there was that big down halt. So it can get very illiquid very fast on CRT. That's why no average in. That's why I cover it at $8 to make sure we don't turn a winning trade into a losing one, guys. But it looks like for now it is pretty good. With a minute and a half to go, Virgin Galactic is creeping towards the upside here as it's right at that 40 level, key level 40, obviously round number. I've got offers ready to go if it gets up to that 41. Yesterday's close, well, sorry, in the aftermarket, it got to 41.20. Yesterday's close, I know, was at 40.70, but it's got like a 50-cent range where I think you got to give it some leeway before it turns into a long for me. And then that OSAT, one last one because the volume is absolutely churning through. I do have a bid down in front of that 1080 or around that 11 even area. It looks like it is breaking out as well. But we've seen this happen before at 12:30, where you get at 9:30, right at the open, where you get a bit of a failed break, and then it is a dip buy. It shakes a lot of people that went long on that 9:30 breakout. Sometimes it's better that it happens earlier or happens a little bit after that open. I tend to not like those breaks right at 9:30 on these smaller cap type names, but there is actual news with OSAT today as opposed to some of these other small cap movers.
We'll put an order upside here. I mean, if we can get back to 185, that'd be pretty sweet. So if we can get ticked out here on a crazy market open, hopefully for Disney, we'll have a look at that. Quickly though, Nokia showing up here. AMC with a sell side, Ford with a sell as well. We talked about getting out of Ford there at that 16 level, so now it's to 1450. Probably a good buy there. I don't really see anything else. Some of the banks there, BAC's on there as well, but we'll wait to see what's happening as the banks continue to make a little bit of a march downside now. The only trade that's in the money for me right now is this softy as the NASDAQ looking to go with only 5 seconds to go here, Valeria. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hit it. We're open. Okay, good job. So there we go. Now we're open. We take a little bit of a bid downside on Goldman Sachs. Watch out. This thing could collapse. 382.20. We're not even open yet here on Goldman. There we are. So we are open. Goldman Sachs right now with a $1.50 spread, guys. Very, very dangerous.
This is dangerous. And look, no dip on OSAT. Obviously, I did get a Virgin Galactic 40.55. That's down at $40 in the money. But OSAT is, I thought we'd get a bit of a dip buy on that one. Looks like it is headed to the, nope. Forget that. Failed break up to 13. Now it's getting pretty serious. But I did get into Virgin Galactic. Only the first entry. You guys saw I had 2 orders. Only the first one hit. I tried very quickly to get more shares at 40.50. It's right back in that 40 range. So bouncing around a little bit here on Virgin Galactic. And that OSAT is off to the races. There was no dip buy to have, guys. It just broke the top.
Yeah, OSAT, they're going. Microsoft now $1 in the money as it's taking out new highs here. So go, Mr. Softy. $1.25 now in the money for Mr. Softy as it keeps ripping up. Upside there. Goldman Sachs, we did average in, guys. So now we're back upside. We talked about getting more shares. So hopefully Goldman can run to the high side as we're back to the highest spot we've been at all day. So there it is. We resisted danger there a little bit. Look at that Disney out, guys. We told you we'd get some out if it ripped upside. 184.60 we just got out. That's $1 ago. Go, Goldman. Here we go, Goldman. We loaded up on Goldman on the downside. Now we're going to take it upside as we are smoking right now. It's hot dog time. We talked about hitting daily goals as the market opens. There we go. So let's see how far. Now we want to rip upside right now. Goldman $1.27 in the money. Microsoft $1 in the money. Good morning so far, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be loving it here, guys. I was able to get more shares of Virgin Galactic. I actually got that Pepsi bid, so it looks like I didn't think it was going to happen, and I did get it. I was able to get more shares there of that Virgin Galactic. I might have looked a gift horse in the mouth, but it looks like I got close to that top wick. I'll start working it out down below that 40-50 area, down towards that 40, if and only because it showed some support at that 50 area. You got to be at least a little bit concerned with that when you see it. CRTD, which is the one that had been comfortably in the money, is now trading. It got below $7, so we're in the money over $1 in that trade very, very briefly. I still think he can get to 6. It has been falling like an absolute rock, but we'll go ahead and power it up for catching a top again on Virgin Galactic with the 930 play, but not nearly as weak as it was at the open yesterday. So as it gets down towards that 40 level, I'm going to take another leg out here because it feels stronger than this did in yesterday's action. So the trade is going to work. That setup, I love it. You just got to make sure you take your profit. One of these days, Virgin Galactic has to rebound, right? So if it's going to be today, I want to make sure I don't turn this winning short into a loser.
Yeah, exactly. So monitor your trades, guys, as we go. Goldman Sachs did have a hell of a problem there at 385. So that's going to be a spot now as we fade right back in. This is completely fine. We will dump some out. Oh, there we go. We just got long again. We'll get some out here on a 378 break, but it really did not like that 385 level there. So it tried to break it. Now we're heading to the downside. Look at the NASDAQ. So our Microsoft is ripping upside right here. So as this continues to go, it looks like the banks are going to get faded. So we did, there we go. So Goldman Sachs there, we did get some out there at the very bottom there, 378. So let's see if it does retrace back. We'll take a 380 long again, see if we can't make some of that money back. But Goldman Sachs fails there at 385. So that was a good opportunity for us to get out. But again, bang, right to the downside. Let's see if that's the bottom, and we'll take a 380 long through 380 right now, guys.
I'll hit that one, and because I got to go over to OSAT for a second, I'll tell you, Pepsi with a nice little bounce. I scalped them out for like a 60-cent win. You got the right one, baby. But OSAT, That's a spike up there. I can't even call that a failed break. That's a full dollar on the breakout that you would have gotten. But coming back in now pretty heavily, I'm gonna look back to that 11 level, that 1080 to 11 area that I like. If it's gonna fail here, I'll see if I can't snag a bit of a bid, but it could come down pretty hard, pretty fast. Oh yeah, all the puns aside. Virgin Galactic also heading back into the downside, so maybe I took out too many shares too soon, but we're still holding 40, right? So we were able to get our last shares in there at 40.83. That's now sitting 80 cents in the money, but there we go. It just finally broke through 40 even. It also held 39.70. If it breaks that level and then we can get a lower high, I get into some more shorts there. Zila is basically flat. So Pepsi long good, Virgin Galactic short good, CRTD, I'll tell you this. I saw someone in the chat like CRTD is going to $10. Wowzers, was I looking at gift horse in the mouth and did not cover it. It is right back up to that 780 area. I said I would not average in until, well, before the open or at 9:30. But if it does roll through $8 or fail at $8 here, we're now past the open. It is worth a shot of the reload. But I want to see it turn first. I don't want to jump onto this thing in the midst of that push to the upside on volume since the open.
Yeah, we're trying to also get a few more shares here of Goldman, maybe on the downside, but we do want to see if we can't get this back through 380. Watch out for 375. We will take a few more shots here, but 375 right here, I mean, that's a pretty key level for me. If that's going to hit 375, here comes right to the downside now. So that's going to be probably a spot to get out. I'm trying to find, like, the thing is that you can't, like, I don't want to be too, like, back and forth with this name because, you know, it has the chance. We saw a big move yesterday off the open to the downside there in 372, and we know that banks aren't trading well off earnings. We actually have that note out about that. So maybe we have to wait for this 373 area here coming on Goldman before we're wrong, because, you know, that would take away everything that we've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, last 5-6 days. So 370, where was that? Right here. 373-ish is about as low as I'm willing to let this thing go. So we'll wait on Goldman Sachs here. I don't want to get out too early, but right now, NASDAQ making moves up, Goldman Sachs making moves downside. Microsoft $1.50 in the money. At least this one's working out for us. Oh man, now we have a bad wick, but Goldman right back to, or sorry, Microsoft right back to day's high. What's up, Brendo?
Another one we talked about, guys. Pepsi just took out that pre-market high, 152.5, which is now all-time highs for Pepsi, up 2%.
I mean, I'm looking 153 for breaking Pepsi. That was in and out, easy peasy. 150.70 was that low. We talked about that level. It was sitting smack dab there on the daily chart for you guys. So we dipped in front of it by 5 pennies, and that was the low. It takes them out in the scalp trade, and now we're going to get that 152.50 area. If it breaks 153, I like the breakout for Pepsi because, like you said, it is all-time highs there. And Virgin Galactic now 39.25 it's sitting at. So Virgin Galactic, once again, flushing. It didn't look as weak as before, so I watch it bounce off that 39 area, and I'm going to stick to that thesis. Bouncing off of this triple bottom here, I can take a 39 break short, which is what I did yesterday, so I'll power it up. I took out profits early on my trade of that 51 short yesterday because I was willing to get back into the trade over and over again. So I'll rinse and repeat that same price action here on Virgin Galactic, but that was a nice little 930 bottom, and then I can just get back in on momentum on a 90 break or a 39 even break, and then scalp some of that out, hold a core position, do what we do best here, guys, as active traders. I love Virgin Galactic. I'm a long-time holder. At some point, I will find a place to dip buy this thing for real in the long-term account. Until then, we just got to keep shorting it if that's where the stock wants to go. OSAT halted to the ups. Of course, OSAT's halted.
Yeah, some of these stocks moving like crazy back and forth today. Thank you, Ms. B, for the reload on the cafe there as we go. So Microsoft, I mean, I just wish I could show you the chart better, but 276.85. So we're in the money now, almost $2 on Softy. So good trade there for sure. Microsoft, nice little trade there. Whoopsies, what just happened there? I don't know what I just did. Oh, was it Zila?
Yeah,
okay, yeah, so Zila now 380. So there we go, up to the upside now, 380 on Zila. A nice winner, man, 23 cents in the money.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of knew without checking us. We've been both trading a long time. I know we're both long in Zila. I saw it spike up. You're trading multiple symbols. On our system, we'll see our net move around, and then you kind of know something probably just triggered to get you out. Gonna go to Brendan. We have about 3 minutes before that OSAT opens back up. That one should be spicy. Brendo?
Watch cannabis, guys. Just saw Tilray. Big volume behind this move as well. About 5% to the upside here for Tilray. Chuck Schumer set to release federal marijuana legalization bill Wednesday, guys, so cannabis getting some attention.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what we're waiting for on the cannabis side of things for investments wise. Anyways, there goes Spaceman. We finally, I mean, Neil's in it early. Great call. We're waiting on this one now. We're short now, 38.50. So we'll wait to see if it goes. But here's another $2 in the money. We're trying to make this back now. As we told you, some defense levels here for Goldman. Let's see if we can get back into the 383 level. I still think that that's worthy of a buy there. We take out some Zila there. So that's, I mean, bang, bang, bang. Nice win for Zila today. Upside. Good look on that one. But Goldman right now, $2 in the money. Let's see. I'm going to put an offer right back around here if we can. Right near VWAP, 381.50 or so. Let's see Goldman. We're making it all back, baby. So we're happy as hell right now as this market rallying for us. As Goldman breaks through again, we take more long, guys.
And another halt here. This one is a downside halt. So we'll go this little fist bump action for CRTD. Look, I was in the short already. I was wanting the rollover. Hadn't been quick at 6.780. So we're in the money $1, and it's halted to the downside. 6, I think, is support. So if it opens up and tests that level, I think I'll be in and out pretty quickly on CRT. Well, not in and out pretty quickly on that one. Zila is holding this 380 level, which is kind of annoying. It's a great trade, getting those dips on Zila, but it's holding 380 with a 385. Check that 386 top. I want to hold some for the breakout. I still think this can go and maybe test that $4 range. But OSAT halted CRTD. I'm short in that halt. Pepsi, I was able to reload because Pepsi is the right one. I'm not, you know what, I can't keep using that line over and over again. I got out in front of the pre-market resistance level, that 151.75. It then dipped and tested it, 151.6 long. Last time I covered in front of that pre-market high, I'll probably go ahead and do the same thing again. I still like a 153 break on Pepsi, I almost said Tesla, after that dip buy. So constantly taking profit in front of it makes some sense, and then I can just take the breakout later. But Pepsi working a couple of times to the long side here. You just have to wait for the volume to come in. You know, some things are worth trading in the pre-market. As good as Pepsi has been, it is not worth trading the pre-market because it doesn't do a lot of volume at that time.
Look at, I mean, we are just right now, man. Let's spin it. I mean, the Goldman Sachs trade comes out, and but whatever, man. We seek a hell of a lot of revenge on that trade. Look at Microsoft right now, 276.80. This is now $2 in the money on the upside for this trade. So that's working out pretty sweet for me for sure on that move. Disney's coming all the way back, man. We got that great in or great out, sorry, the first time. Now we'll wait to see if it can come back to life for us a bit. And then here goes Goldman. It just was at 382.50, man. Where was my offer? We had 382.90, so should have got some more out there, but we did go long, getting some nice revenge here on Goldman Sachs. But you know, it doesn't really matter. We're looking for higher than this. So if we can get it upside there, we still lose on this trade if it comes back to the downside, but we're back to flat now on that name, so that's going to be a good one. Zila does break the high, but we've already cashed out, so it's going to show us in this position. I'm going to get out of a little bit here as it looks like it doesn't want to continue to the upside. That's Zila, guys.
And there's the open on OSAT. It opens up. Looks like it just took out 14 even up to 14.66. The haul was at 13.50 and it's supporting that. Maybe it's got another break in it, but if it can hold 13.60, I think that's where you want to look at it. Those haul prices I always like for potential support, so I'll take a shot at it if there's any kind of dips. Zila going nuts, but it held at 85 top. Good thing we took some profit up, but I want to hold for breaks what I have in Pepsi. I'll hold my long for a break in Zila. The CRTD, the short, I'm likely to get out of though, but here comes Zila. Tested again that 15 level. Sorry, OSAT tested again that 15 level. I'm unable to hold. Let's see if it can hold that dip. Brendo?
This SOHU, guys, Sohu 24%, 23.5. It just made a day high there, $23 getting taken out. This is the one that SOGO, SOGOU. 10 cents, planning to take that private. Looks like they have Chinese regulatory approval for that deal. So this one, SOHU, moving on that.
Yeah, we saw SOGO a couple times before, but SOGO, go, Microsoft right now. Again, you know, this is the thing. This is why you sort of, I mean, if you're here at 8:30, that's when I made this trade right away, man, right 8:32, when it was coming to the downside there off that CPI number, and now you're ripping upside, man, $2 plus now in the money on this name. And there it is, man, another 50-cent winner as Space. Like, I'm just a one and done, just ninja today, guys. In, out, bang to the downside. downside. Let's wait to see where we go from here. Space now 50 cents in the money. Let's go. Goldman Sachs 80 cents in the money. Microsoft $2 in the money. Zila, not my number one stock, but it's up there right now. So let's go rocking and rolling. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for 6 today. As we keep on rocking this, let's just wait to see how far. Goldman Sachs is still position pending. So I'm saying that's going to be a winner because I have confidence that we get back to the upside, but that may still fail. So another $1 higher, and we'll get more out on Goldman Sachs. There it goes, man. Now we can, 5 for 5. Now we can say we're 5 for 5. 5 for 5? 5 for 5 on the day, not 4 for 4. Let's keep on going to the upside. Big win, Softy.
So CRTD is still halted. Looks like it might be, okay, any second now. It should be 5 minutes. But I bought the dip and OSAT and halted to the downside. I tried to get more shares. Could not get them. Virgin Galactic, I just covered at 38. Well, just below 38. Pre-market lows at 37.5. So I'm out in front of the lows just like I was out in front of the 39. So it's separate shorts here. Short off the top at 41. We'll cover the last lows in front of 39. Short again when 39 breaks. Cover those at that pre-market low area. So rinse and repeat that price action. Pepsi, that's the one we look. We talked about this in the market, that Pepsi, good earnings, blah, blah, be the safer play. It's starting to slow down a little bit here, but I've got the second dip buy, that 151.60, about $1.50, just like it was off of that open, guys. So, whew, this has been an interesting one, but there was that BLIN that we mentioned that had popped up late, wasn't on the watch. Well, it was on the watch because you guys mentioned it, wasn't on the watch list per se. It just made a big volume spike up through $8, recovering there. This one has breakout potential, although I'd much prefer this to break out after some kind of consolidation, not like parabolically moving into 960. If it holds for you up here, watch out for a 970 break on BLIN. Late addition to the list. This is why you watch that preparation, because sometimes these stocks will pop up in real time, like what I'm assuming Brendan's about to mention.
Verb Technologies, VERB, a recent mover here, guys. They announced a general commercial release of their Verb mail for Microsoft Outlook today. So a nice move for VERB.
Okay, yeah, Verb there. I'm just looking at Mara in here. I know a lot of people are looking at that. So Goldman Sachs is falling back down. We'll wait to see if we can pick some more up. Mara, going to break through 18. We're going to go long on this one. Tons of volume coming through. Another one of those big names of software. They're making moves off Reddit as well. But, I mean, this is just a big move up. I think we could try the 18. But, again, let's just watch it. It didn't halt. It didn't know. But we'll wait to see if it comes back to 17. Well worth $1 worth of risk here for Mara and software, I guess. But we'll wait to see where it goes, because the last time we were up here, it's had some troubles, man. 1850, battled a little bit. It didn't travel up here for too long. 2021, so there it comes, fading off that level right now. That's Marin. We did take AMC, so new position alert, 41.50 here on AMC, as it takes out that little pre-market high. That's a trade that I like, so now we'll wait to see. AMC was a beautiful bottom at 39 and change, but here we go, guys, a nice win, a 41.50 long AMC.
Oh, AMC. I forgot all about that.
30 cents.
I forgot about AMC. Well, looks like we're not open back up on CRTD. That's the one I'm short into the halt, long on the halt and OSAT. That one should be opening up in about 2 minutes, 1 minute or so. But it's a 10-minute halt on CRTD, obviously. That one's in the money, however. BLIN, I'm looking for that 970 top break. If it comes down to $8 again, that fly out of my face. If it comes down to $8 again, I like that for a bit of support. Feeling unlikely because BLIN very strong.
Yeah, so still in AMC right now. As you guys can see, there it goes. We did take out a little bit AMC here on this long ripper. So let's wait to see where we go from here. But that's AMC to the long side. One thing that we'd have no worries about: $3 in the money with Softy. You like that throw there, Rob? That was pretty good, right? That was pretty creative. Okay, now we're going right back to the upside with Softy as it just keeps on climbing, guys. So big. What's up, William Garcia? Alert on AMC. Thank you, Mr. William Garcia, as we have broke the 200 period moving average on AMC. Well, we're long, and we're just hoping that that moving average holds, because now it's coming back to the downside. But we already did get a little bit out. So again, you know, this could fall all the way and there's no problem. We've got 2/3 out on AMC. Let's see how far we can go up now to the upside. We're still trying to bang on that Goldman Sachs door right now as well. But that's come down to the downside. Space, I mean, wow, we slayed that dragon. That's 70 cents now in the money off of the only level that we gave you, 38.50. So that's a good one as well. And just looking back, Zila's kind of struggling, doing nothing. But whatever, we've already crushed that stock as well. So far, so good on the day, guys.
Brendan?
Another little low float. This is actually a retail stock, but JGIL going here, guys. Decent volume behind this move so far through 22 there. Big volume alert went off, but this thing has a 4.3 million share free float for JGIL.
I remember JGIL. So what we wanted to do the last time, we'll try to do here on OSAT. Got trapped in the halt last time. Got out and accidentally short, but I like that long off of the support at 1180 and 12. So this time, that's where I'm long, which should have been the first time through. If it can get back up, this stock, look, it potentially could keep on halting over and over again. In about 20 seconds, I will be possibly out of that CRTD, which is in a 10-minute halt. If 1180 breaks, that was the level that we liked on OSAT for support. Should never have been long anything better than in front of that particular level. So I got like a 1260 here, risking about a buck. When you consider slippage on this stock, I think I'm risking at least $1 on that trade. So we're back in business with that. OSAT to the long side, CRTD, as I mentioned, that's the one that was a halt down. It opens up. It looks like it's immediately testing that 6 even area, which was already going to be an out for me. So as it tries to bounce off 6, I will cover that trade. We'll go whiz action for that short. Once it broke 780, look, I like the long idea on this one if it had broken the top. Instead, it broke 780 support. It was a level on the daily chart I showed you guys here. This is at 780 on the daily. Once it could not hold that the third time through or second time through, depending on what you want to call it, it was a short for me. It just also happened to hold to the downside, giving a bit of a bigger winner. But that's just one of those momentum things. Like if it doesn't hold to the downside, I'm possibly covering at 650. So it might have got me an extra 40 cents there.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know what's. I mean, is there news on Microsoft, Brendan, that maybe I don't know about? Because this is just like straight to the upside. Debating getting some out though. 279, like right around here, 279.50, because this is just a monster move, and we got to put our $3 in our pocket at some point here. So 279.50 probably couldn't come out here on Microsoft if we have to. So I'm just going to take it out if it breaks that, and we'll see. It's just a little bit of a carry trade because again, I don't want to. I'm putting the order in right now as we speak on our software. So there it is. 279.50 will get out there if it breaks back below. What a monster this softy trade has been. I hope you guys are on this with me, but I know it's an expensive name for a lot of you to trade, but great opportunities there. What's not been a great opportunity? Well, it has been. We're basically flat on the stock. Position pending here. Goldman Sachs, I almost said Golden State again. Goldman Sachs still down to the bottom side here. We'll have to average in a little bit, but it is starting to fall again. So good thing we got some out there. What's up, V?
Yeah.
Hey Sean, Nokia is up more than 8% today. Could you guys give us a quick review on Nokia?
I will try here. Sorry, I got to go to OSAT here because it just bounced to 1320. This is a halt price at 1360. Got to cover some in front of that halt, but I want to hold through a 1360 area. I've seen this before, and these meme stocks, when they get that first downward halt, it's been, generally speaking, a decent buying opportunity. So that's what I wanted to go with here, and that's what we've done. The question was Nokia, so I will get to Nokia here. Just had to adjust my stop and then take some profit on that trade. Nokia, if you are unwilling to take pennies at a time, then this is not the stock for you. It's only going to give you like a 20-cent move here off of the. Oh my goodness, my chart is hating me today on Nokia, so I can't even call up a daily chart on Nokia, guys. But watch out for that $6 level. I think really all that's happened is a bit of a pop at 930. It's a mean play. Make sure you take your profit on this one. A 6 even break, I think, would stand out to be a good one, but it's got to get there first. And yeah, it's actually already coming back in as I say it. So forget about even saying it just resisted the pre-market highs and resisted $6. Before I got it out of my mouth, it was already turning anyway. So Nokia has never been the great day trade for me because you should be focused on taking tens of thousands of shares to make small amounts of, like a few pennies here or there. I like doing that. Sundial is much better for that, depending on the moves, at least I think. But Nokia, I tend to stay away from for the day trade because I like those bigger movers. Speaking of, I kind of forgot. Well, I didn't forget about it. But Pepsi, right back at that 153 level. So that's actually really good timing because it just broke 153. The last dip I was holding some shares to 150, 160, and I just added on a 153 break. So good Pepsi earnings. We got the right one, baby. We're long Pepsi. Working rather nicely so far today. This is the third entry we've had. We're at fresh tops, so I start thinking about, I don't know, like evens and quarters and halves and all that kind of good stuff as we take this one to the upside. Once again on Pepsi, I don't have anything for this, so I'll just hit the arrows up. For Pepsi, there's no one of me drinking anything, or I actually prefer Coke, but I don't drink, soft. I actually do not drink pop ever, unless it's with a fun alcoholic beverage. I don't drink pop, forget about it. But I like Pepsi because they got a great diverse portfolio of food and beverage.
Okay, yeah, Neil prefers Coke, I prefer Pepsi, but
really?
Just as a drink, I don't know. Diet Pepsi, but I don't, like I actually had one time a regular Pepsi, or Coke, I don't know how long it's been, but wow, that is sugary for sure. So I feel like, I'm looking at this number here, and that's why. Do we have a stuck bid there? What is happening with space right now? That is what it is. So we do have a stuck bid. So our quotes aren't working on Virgin Galactic, FYI, right now. So I don't know if there's something wrong here with Virgin Galactic. We may need to report this because it's not moving. Our quotes aren't moving. Nothing's happening right now with space. So just to let you guys know that, nothing happening with space. So it's going to look a little different on our... I'd get in, but I don't know what the price is. So we'll wait to see. I guess we can't even look... is this what we're trading at? We're trading at 38.05. So this is going to look like a loser. I thought I was sitting here in a winner this whole time. We still are in a winner, but it's actually trading at 38.06 right now, not third, and I'm short 38.50. We did get some nice bottoms out there, but it did tick down as low as, I guess, here's a real moving chart for space, down to 37.50. So we did have $1 or so in the money, but right now we're going to have to wait on that one as there is a problem with it. Okay, we've averaged in now. This is going to be a big problem. We've averaged in not too many, but again, if it's going to be a loser, it's going to be a loser. So we're now long at 378.90 on Goldman Sachs. We're out about $1.60 right now on this trade. So we got to wait to see where this name goes, but we still have that 373 looking at that level. So that might be a little low for us here. We don't want to lose too much on this name. What's up, Brendo?
Just a heads up on Goldman there. The call is on right now for GS, guys. So watch it for comments. CLNN, Clean Incorporated, popped up on news in the pre-market there. All the way back and then some. This is 20. It's come all the way back to 14, guys, for the CLNN.
There's breaks to the left, breaks to the left of them, breaks to the right of them, volley and thunder. Just quickly scalped out a Blinn. I could have gone Blinn every time you cover my, whatever. I used that last week or 2 weeks ago. So this 970 break, I was able to get some shares here, actually at 969. That's a great price there. And then 991 out, because $10 is an even number, and now it rejects 10. So I always scalp some out in front of a level like that. If it holds back 925, I want some more, but Zila, you're not tearing us apart today. You're tearing it to the upside. So we wanted to hold through a break, but $4 level is a $4 level. And yeah, I'm going to take some shares out there in front of 4. I'll hang on to the rest. Zila is off to, the second I get out of shares in front of 4, because there was a bit of I can't even show you the offer that was there. Trust me, there was one. It is gonzo. So Zila off to the races, up 17%. This was when we had the pre-market. We loved it to that long side, and it continues to go. Cannot get out of its own way. It's been a fantastic one for days now, Zila, and we're going to hang on to the last of our shares. I just missed a dip, and I saw it dip down to $12. I'm like, I should get back in front of that 1180 area, and then missed it, so it wasn't quite fast enough. If it dipped back down to about 12 and a quarter, I'll try to get a reload on OSAT. So a lot of names moving here to the long side. I did cover the one short that was CRTD that we did get. So it's been a crazy fun morning. I'm with you, Sean, though, looking at that Virgin Galactic. There's it's not trading. I can actually show you the level too to see where it's trading, because that is actually correct. You are seeing the quote move. So it's like trading at 38.87.
Okay.
There's just some stock quotes there, right? So I can actually see the price. It's just my time and sales isn't moving, so it doesn't paint to our chart. So I can trade it, but I'm only going to do it off a key level. So we like 40, we like that 41. Down here, I'm probably not going to touch it. I covered my last short down at the bottom, but it is still moving. It hasn't been halted for like 10 minutes.
All right, so we'll just go back over here and just destroy Zila again. So a lot of, money, there it is, man. We're taking a lot of these trades to the bank today, that's for sure. As there goes Zila up to 417, guys. We're long 386, like Zila. So nice little move upside there. As we say Zila more and more, maybe if we keep saying it, something nice will happen to it, and it already has with that nice little $4 break. So good on us for that move. But right now we've averaged into AMC. It doesn't look like this one wants to go. So we could turn a winner into a loser here on the average in. But I was looking, I just marked this $40 level, so that's going to be relatively key for me. If we break back down below that 40, then obviously we can't sit here and let this go too much further against us here, but we will, because $40 is coming a little faster than we had hoped for. Look, we also did take a bottom here on Disney. So this move, again, in, out. So that's only like about $1. We got that real early. Can't believe that. We talked about putting that order there and just hoping. So we actually get that order, and there goes Goldman to the downside. So we did get some out there on a 375 break, I think. But here goes Disney. So we're just massaging. Looks like our only loser is going to be Goldman, but we do have a problem here with Disney. And this is the problem when you get into something in the pre-market, right? It's like, you're not sure what the market wants to do with the names. So unfortunately today, Disney's down. Pepsi's nicely up. Goldman also heading to the downside, looking to break out through these levels. We'll find out. Maybe we go long again if we break back above 377. But we've taken a lot of shots here today on Goldman. So
I'm gonna hit this one for OSAT. Obviously, it's gonna stink. You just got more shares back into that 1225, like I said it would, and then we break that 1180 area. It looks pretty weak, but I do want to check back to like $10 on this one, and maybe even a titch higher than that, maybe even a little bit higher than that, like 1025 or so. But I might have just got worked out at 1180. I will take a step back on this name. Blinn as well. This is why you take profit in front of a 10 on a breakout like that, because it's already starting to come back in. But remember, it held this like 875 before. It got VWAP up here at $9. So I want to leave myself room. Take some profit off. If you like the trend of the trade, allow yourself to buy the dip. I know it didn't just work in OSAT, but a setup is a setup, and I got to take them when they are there. So you can see me pop into some Blinn shares, hopefully. I'm all out of Zila. This might have been the wrong call. Well, look, we'll see. It reversed off of 420, and I suppose that probably shouldn't have mattered. And in my head, I was like, okay, like I kind of remember when this thing calmed down and turned into a good short, and it was right at 420, but oh man, is there juice if it breaks this to $5. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I covered the last of my shares in front of 420. Sean, I think you still got yours. Do you have? I don't know. I'm not sure if you're still long, but Zila obviously off to the races.
Yeah,
up 18%.
I still got a baby long. So
if it breaks 420, what I'm trying to get is if it breaks 420 outside of like 50s and 75s, $5 is the next thing up there.
Yeah, for sure. So, we like that spot, but you could see now the NASDAQ just ripping. Like, I asked Brendan, I mean, I don't know if there's anything on Softy here today, but what the hell? Like, this is now $4? $4 in the money. So this is a big trade for us. We're also $4 out of the money on Goldman Sachs. So as one goes up, the other goes down. Goldman's getting ready to break the bottom here. So again, bank earnings. We put that poll out. Let me see what's going on with this poll quickly here before we go to happening now, because I should have just followed this poll. I said we'll be lower, remember? Yet I'm long. Oh, that's so stupid. Anyways, we'll be higher. So it looks like right now over 300 votes. Thank you so much for that. 59%. Banks will be higher. But I got to get away from some of these bank names. So Brendan, tell me what's happening now. Maybe we can find something else.
Hey guys, at 10 o'clock, let's have a look at what is happening at this point. Yeah, the NASDAQ, Microsoft making up a big part of the strength, obviously, but 0.2, 0.4 for the 100 and the composite, therefore the NASDAQ leading the way in positive territory. The Dow, the S&P, a little bit negative still, but overall, it's been a pretty choppy start, especially for the Dow if you have a look at DIA. S&P TSX here in Toronto also was in negative territory. Now back to the upside. Want to mention though the small caps here, 0.7 for the Russell. 2 days in a row, pretty weak for small caps. Let's shift over to a couple things we were talking about pre-market. We mentioned Airbnb with an upgrade today. Popped up on that to 149, 149.5. We're all the way back and then some. So already red once again for Airbnb, looking pretty weak. Tesla tried at the open there, went 686 up to about 693, but trying to bounce back now as well. But did fade off there initially, guys, for Tesla. Back over to you.
Yeah, like Tesla doing the dip to it got to 78. I mean, give me a break. I kind of thought I said 72.5, so I didn't get anywhere close to what I wanted. I just checked back into, I'm actually sitting on the bid of JPM down here. I like that 154.50. That's still in, but it just tested the bottom. Pre-market lows at 155. I kind of almost want to let it break and then see what happens because it's been relatively weak. Of course, Zila probably maybe a bit of a mistake to get out of it. We'll see. After I get out of something like that, I'm looking to not revenge it because we're immediately breaking. I'm kind of thinking to myself, okay, well, be patient because if that's an actual level, I'm still expecting to dip back down and maybe that 85 top turns into something I can buy in front of. So I'm going to be patient with that one. I'll hang on to, I did get more shares of BLIN. So Blinn did dip off VWAP here. Look, the breakout kind of failed at 10 even, so I do anticipate if I get a dip here, I got to take some out in front of that previous pre-market top where we tried that break, just in case it puts in a lower high off of $10, and then hold a core position for that 10 break, because maybe I can't get that 10 break, although I suppose there'll be liquidity at $10. It's done 30 million in shares, so most of these are pretty liquid around those round numbers. Another reason why a lot of times you'll see day traders trade around those is because everyone's thinking the same thing. There's going to be some shares at those prices.
Okay, so I'm just getting some of these stop orders set up here in case worst case scenario happens here with Disney. We're out in the money 50 cents on Disney, so it's not huge, but I don't want to hold this too much past this 181 level. So just found it's nothing. It's just, yesterday, 180, a little too low there. We do have that 180 spot, so I could change this up, but 181 here. This is a 20-minute chart, so we do have VWAP here on a 20-minute chart of 180, 130 or so, 180, 150. So I think that's a reasonable spot. If Disney doesn't want to go today off of monster day yesterday, this is all that we were trying to do today. Not all this. I mean, that would have been fantastic for us to get all of this, but we just surprised that we're coming back down to the downside today. I thought we'd get a little more love for Black Widow and for what Disney was doing. We did have that repricing of ESPN, but here comes the downside. So it doesn't really matter what I think, as the market is the one in control right now. So we're out $1 right now on Disney, roughly $1. Or sorry, is it? No, 70 cents. Sorry, only 70 cents. We're long at 182.75. So Disney now, I guess that's not worth too much of a panic. This is a little bit more of a panic, AMC, because we're right back down. We did take some nice averaged in, and we did go back into the money on this trade. But again, it's now falling. We're going to see if it can retest that bottom of 39.50. That's not a good little look there for AMC. What's up, Brendan?
So Microsoft all-time highs, guys. The other big one, Apple, just touching a new all-time high as well. So tech very strong, led by those two so far.
Hell yeah.
Tech on the move, definitely supporting that run. I mean, it is worth noting, I'm just checking out the corner of my eye here, trying to get to the highs. ES is almost positive as well, so it's not like this is like a one-trick pony. One of the names that we talked about, Boeing, I knew I missed something, and I knew I'd forgotten something, and Boeing 232 short was it, so it is what it is, guys. It just bounced. It would have only made like a couple of bucks, and now it's right back to testing that 232, but that was a momentum play that obviously I was involved in a few other things that were moving faster. We talked about sticking to what is, I guess, the most active, and some of these, BLIN got on our radar. I was able to reload in that. I was able to just get some more profit out on BLIN. I talked about taking some out in front of that high, in case it puts in lower highs. I wanted to still support that 870 area, so it bounced off VWAP once. This time, I'm parking the bid in front of that 870 area. I want better prices, that if it's going to make this like round into the bottom, I kind of average in at better prices each time. That way, if you end up taking a hit, it breaks that level and you're hunting back for that 8 level. You've lost a little bit less, you've taken some profit. The other side of that trade is, obviously, if it bounced off VWAP again, I don't get any more shares. And if I take some in front of 960, you're holding less when it breaks 10 even. So you can't risk less without giving up some upside, but that's the approach I'm going to take with BLIN. I am still watching, and I will apologize in advance for what my chart looks like in Virgin Galactic, but we are trading close to that 39 area here. You can kind of see on the bid. If it gets back to that 40, that's where I would probably think about that short again. 41.25 was that stop all morning long on Virgin Galactic. It obviously never quite broke that. That's 41 even, so it didn't get close to that 41.20 from yesterday afternoon's price action. And back to earnings, another one just to go back over the positions. Pepsi, our last entry was the 153 break. I did take some out, 153.38, just a little bit in front of that 150.50. And now we're hanging on, not for dear life, but we're hanging on because 155, 154.50. Don't have an obvious level for this one yet. We like Pepsi for those earnings. I like it as a safe play. You probably are never day trading this thing outside of earnings, I'm trying to think off the top of my head some news that would be big enough, but nothing's coming to mind. So yeah, you trade it on earnings as a day trade. Otherwise, it's more of a buy and hold type thing.
Yeah, so Disney's coming right back there. Zila's a nice little 33-cent winner as it's taking out day's high now again. So there's that 420 that Neil talked about. Let's just keep on going to the high side. Everything is we only have one loser on today, guys, and that's Goldman Sachs. It's too big. It's a big loser. So now we're going to wait to average in if we can get above 377. Otherwise, we're going to let this hold. So one losing trade today, not bad, but it is pending AMC. So AMC, we just did average in here. So this could be two. We could have two losers on AMC and Goldman Sachs. AMC is a profitable trade, but we're holding on to this to see what happens at 39.50. No more averages in or anything like that. What's my average price now? 40.75. So we're only out of the money here 70 cents. It's not worth crying over, but Softy does make that high again, 281. I mean, look at, my portfolio right now, I hope, as well as yours, is just destroying it. If you're large cap tech, if you're trading anything large cap tech or you hold anything right now, most of these names at all-time highs today, if not last week. Anyways, as Google up again, 250. I mean, look, what's Google is a little higher than this is the all-time high. Yeah, 255 is actually right here, 66, 67. So we're right here on Google as well. Amazon rocking and rolling. So the only thing, again, that I'm worried about right now is the bank name, and Goldman Sachs has just been, these are all buys, man. Thank God, this came back through and we're able to get some out there, or else it would just be an absolute disaster of a day for Goldman Sachs. But now it just keeps going down. We break these lows, we're gone. We said that the bank earnings would be light. Damn it. We still did it. But look at Zila right now. You guys want to do something? Let's fire off some hot dogs as Zila, just a champion for the day for me, continues to rip up. We take it in the pre-market. We take it on this break as well. And there it is, Zila, the champion for me today as that continues to go. And by the way, Disney back to flat. So that was a good pickup down there. We just got to be patient with it.
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone was asking about AMC there. I know you're trading AMC, but it's at that 40 level, higher low potential time, I should say, is it just dipped to 39.50 at the open and is now trying to hold this 40 level. I mean, I actually like that. I actually like that setup. Where you already have it. Look, you go to the daily chart here. You already have that 40 level holding the first time. You go up to the 15. This is a higher low here, and then on the day you're getting a higher low as well. So all that to say, it is not a bad little setup. So thank you guys for bringing our attention to it. I know, Sean, you're already trading it, but I want to see if I can catch something in front of 40 even, and then put that 39.50 as a bit of a stop area and see how far we can go in an AMC. Zila, like I said, it might have been a mistake to have gotten out of it. And then I thought I was going to get a chance to get back in. I said, let's be patient. Don't get mad at yourself. Looked like it was going to have a shot to maybe dip back down. That hasn't happened. You're going to see it continue to go to the upside. Zila, now you're tearing me apart, Zila. But hey, I'm glad that you guys are all over this long. Both Sean and I had this to the long side. I think it's the one thing that just about everybody was pretty bullish on this morning for a good reason. Up here, like I said, 450, 475, 5. I mean, there's nothing crazy to the upside on the daily chart to even show you until you get to $5.
I mean, that's why we're still holding the Zila. So we still got this. This is still 50 cents in the money on a $3 name. So good trade here. Again, I'm probably just hold this. We're already cashed in a lot. We'll see if we can take out five and change upside now on Zila. So that's going to be a good trade. O'Neill just talked about it, but that's a banger for sure. So slaying that dragon today. Disney now upside a penny in the money, so we hold this for a bit. We do notice VWAP right there, so a little bit of a push up, and we'll get out of a small piece just so we can put some profits on the board there. But let's go. Where am I even offering here? I thought I was near this level. Oh, 183. So yeah, okay. A little bit more here, Disney, and we'll get out. Like, I can't believe this is a $183 stock, and I'm asking for 4 more cents to the upside. Probably won't get it. That's what happens when you ask. Okay, looks like our Virgin Galactic now fixed. So there's all this mistake, and I thought I was sitting down here in the money, but we were not. So now Virgin Galactic coming back to the upside. This is going to look like a loser, but it's been a big trade for me today, Virgin Galactic. I'm just trying to find another spot, maybe to average in, but I still like that 41.50 as a breaking spot to the upside. Disney going, Zila going. There's Disney. I was offering 87s there, 97s, so maybe we'll just change that, but we should be able to get that right now. Nice little 20-cent win on Disney. We had to hold it too much, so we'll get out a piece and then hopefully get some more high side. There I am. I'm at 197, 82.97. Let's see if we get that fill, guys. Good trade here on. There it is. So there's the out there, 97s. Now we'll let it go to the upside here. Disney putting us back into the green on that one.
Yeah, and check out, oh my goodness, OSAT's actually back up at that 13 level, so it might make another run at that 15, but look, we're getting close to that 40-ish area on Virgin Galactic where I want to be getting in. It's not quite there yet, but AMC is testing 40. I don't want to get these numbers mixed up. On the bounce to the upside, I got some shares in at that quarters. Now it's retesting the higher low. That's like a 39.88. If it bounces off there, it's maybe worth a bit of an ad there, but my out is going to be if it breaks low of the day. I don't want to fight it too far, or too hard. So 39.50. I want it holding that higher low. Look, I'm day trading here. It's all momentum, guys. I know there's a whole diamond hands, hold on to it forever. Flat at the end of the day, regardless, right? So there's no such thing as any diamond handing, anything like that. OSAT, yeah, we talked about that one. I had 1180 as my out. It ends up dipping down to 1126 here. I really thought if it broke that level, we're going to be getting back down to about 10. Didn't even come remotely close to $10, testing back to the upside. The best out here was like 1335, but it's the halt price. That's 1360 that I'd be a little bit more concerned with here to that upside. If it breaks that, I think OSAT gets going again, and there's some room to catch that break to maybe that 15 high, although I would definitely scalp some 50, like $1 in front of that 15 even if it does break that 1360. So OSAT back on the radar after it just put in a nice low.
All right, so we just took out another big 75-cent win now. So now, Disney, one of my number one stocks. Microsoft's my number one stock today for sure. Microsoft, AMC, we've taken profits, but we're holding that one against us. Zila's been a big banger for us as well. And then now here goes Disney, $1.15 now in the money. So in, out, averaged in down there, and now $1 plus in the money, taking out some nice profits there on Disney. So again, got a little bit distraught here with this Virgin Galactic trade because of the quotes, but 39.85, 39.40, this is probably a good little spot to start to fade some Virgin Galactic. I can't believe the day that I'm starting to have right now, so it's been a good one. What's up, Brendo?
Longboard Pharmaceuticals, early candidate for Halt Fest of the day. LBPH. It's been 3 or 4 already, but just broke 17. Back below 17 here. This thing is teeny tiny, 171 million market cap, 9 million free float for LBPH, guys.
LBPH. That was on the NASDAQ, Brennan?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, sorry, perfect. I was actually just watching Fubo there. Thank you guys for pointing out there. Just spiking up to around 30, and Comcast apparently is on the move. This has been a bit of I'm only going to show this because I kind of was looking at this the other day anyways. But $27 the last little bit. You can kind of see the consolidation. Last time it broke this range, it failed. I love this technically. It failed right at 35, so holds the recent support. And then possibly breaking back out through 30 on the way to that 35. That's a nice little setup for Fubo for potential swing. It's on my radar for sure for today, but Comcast as well. And you can't mention Halts and then Halt Fest, or I think you said Halt Fest anyways, Brendan. That was getting my interest. What I will say about LBPH, in addition to that, 666,000 shares is what I have for the volume on this thing today. Wow, that's a little bit ominous. Yeah, that's a little bit scary because that's not a lot of liquidity. So I'm treading very lightly with this one. I think there might be some opportunities. I'd almost rather it start to wipe out to the downside before getting into it, or volume really start to pick up, which it did off of this halt. So if it can maintain doing better volume after this halt, I think that's when you want to start to think about getting into it, not before because volume too low. Pepsi continues to run. It just made another spike through the high, stalled at 153.80. I know we started at 150.70. The best out we got was 152.30, took $1.50 there. Then we dip bought 151.60, and then the best out, of course, was we hung on some of those shares for this. Then we got the 153. So yeah, $3 move, but I'm getting in and out of it as is my style with 3 separate longs in Pepsi today. I love their earnings. I love the name. Got the day trade on. It's trying to make fresh highs. If it turns at 155 or stalls out anywhere close to that price, I will get flat for the day at a 155 for sure on Pepsi. It only ever moves so far in this one.
Yeah, Pepsi, not a great. Oh, GRWG, don't tell me, guys. This has just been, 46, good move. Obviously, with some of the marijuana talk today, GRWG, I think you could always buy this one on any dips. We're long 16 or 17 off of some of these, and thanks for bringing it up. You guys know this is a stock that I'm in here off of these consolidation levels back down here when we were talking election time, and then it did go up. We did get some out. We're not crazy, but we still are holding some grow generation brands here. The marijuana, the Home Depot of marijuana, I've called this name. So I do like this one. We'll see if it dips down to the 37 area. Would be a good buy, but we haven't done any work today really with the cannabis sector. Brendan did bring this to our attention when it was ripping earlier, up that 4% and a bit. Now Tilray, that's a daily chart. Yeah, we don't want to look at that. We were as high as 1740. Chuck Schumer going to be tabling some sort of a bill today, so 1680 maybe. I always think you got to sell any bumps up in these cannabis names, so that was an opportunity missed by me there to sell some of those highs. So next time Brendan brings us something about cannabis and it ripping up, I'm going to put on a short.
And that's one of those things you got to know what you want to do in advance of moves, and that's why we try to talk you through the action that we see, whether it's whether we're right or wrong. And it's been a good one today, but I'll tell you that Blinn wasn't necessarily the right call. Bought the dip too early. We were able to, and this is why you take some profit. We're able to limit the damage here by ensuring that we take profits in front of 10, in front of that 950. But it is trending towards that 8. Now remember in the pre-market, this stock, which was $6 yesterday, went all the way to 950, right back in, held the 788 area. And if it crits back down to that price, I think that's where I want to see if I can dip buy in front of it. As far as Zila goes, what will a good entry for Zila be? I mean, I thought everything from like 350 to 375 was where you wanted to be in this thing in the pre-market. Now that we've broken through 420, I got to think back to like 4 to 420 is a dip buy. And at this point, because you just turned off 450, probably a little bit closer to 4 even. This is a stock that I think is going to be tradable all day long because it's 100 million shares. And I'm trying to be patient with it. AMC has just held barely that 39.5 area. So I might start to look to add to it. I wanted to add one time. Virgin Galactic did not actually get to 40s. That's the only reason I'm not really in a short. I thought I was going to be getting back into this when it pushed back up. Apologies for the gap in the chart. We had a data issue specifically with Virgin Galactic. If it does come back into that upside, I would start to position where this cluster is in the pre-market, this like 3980 up into like 4030. I think that's like a first area short for Virgin Galactic. And of course, 41 is that absolute perfect top that we had before. Was that Brendan?
Yeah, we just averaged it. I did want to look at NEO here, but Microsoft, man, still trying to make moves. We never got out at that 380.50, so that's a good one, man. $4 now in the money. Saving me today is this name. So, and then also a nice little bounce back here. The only thing that we're in trouble with all day is Goldman. So we'll take one more average. We already talked about this 373 as the out. So Goldman's been the only problem spot for me all day. We're going to go 6 for 6 otherwise. So 6 for 7 on the day with Goldman, and then still pending. I mean, it's like it's going to break. So yeah, the minute both Nee and Neil are in this, I should have thought that was maybe a little bit of a problem because we're looking at the same stuff. Right? So downside now 39.50, coming faster than we thought here. The only other trade that I have on AMC looking today was watch out for the 38 support. So yeah, I don't know where that's going to come from, but that's still $1.50 down here from now. Here comes AMC. Looks like we're going to get busted out on that one. So Goldman and AMC will be the two losers today. Microsoft, Disney, Space, Zila, all good winners. Brendan at the big screen. Small cap recap. It's a name we've been talking about.
Hey guys, yeah, quite a few small caps to deal with this morning. Hasn't been an easy day. It's worth mentioning. A lot of two-way action in small cap land today. This one, definitely one of those. The trend still intact here to the upside, but did give you a monster retracement here on OSAT. Right before the open, I said watch 11. Really not a short until it gets below 11. You can see the trend still intact here until I feel like we break 11, so watch out for 11 on OSAT. But the initial long here was great, went all the way to 14.5, 15, depending. But looks like we're failing at a lower high, so watch 13, then 12. But really needs to get below 11, I feel, for OSAT, thinly traded one. So tread lightly. BAOS, one that we mentioned late in the day yesterday. This thing was doing absolutely nothing here in the pre-market, just consolidating, but it did have a little bit of support around 5 to 520 that it was trying to hold. So we get a test of that pre-market high, which corresponded with the area that we kind of failed at late in the day yesterday. This thing cannot bounce now, so it went 560, 580, all the way down to 420 here. Running out of steam, though. Volume dying off already on this BAOS. And then the other one I was watching was MDIA. 1475 was this high from the pre-market, kind of corresponds with yesterday afternoon. It's crawling back up here. This thing, again, very, very thinly traded. Look at the volume, non-existent right now. So it needs a little attention to get going again. But MDIA, guys, also another one kind of fading off. Back over to you.
I'm kind of hoping the patience will pay off. Zila it just popped into that range at 420, and then I'm like, okay, it looked like it was about to roll over. I said closer to $4 on that one, on that push to the downside. It's right back up at 425. It's done this a couple of times. It got down to 417.14, 418 up to 22.23. This time 24. If it rolls again, I think we're looking back close to that 4 even range, 405 here, where I took the last of my shares out there on the move to the upside. And then VWAP sits there at 4 even. So I think that's going to be that target area. I mentioned AMC. Well, I mean, Sean already showed it, so whatever. I'll do this for myself. You guys have seen the chart. It broke the bottom. that's going to be a burn. I don't know. Like Sean said, it's like we're both in AMC. It's probably going to be a bad call to the long side. It's weird because when we're both short AMC and everyone hates it, that's usually when it works out. Virgin Galactic is still, I want to say barcoding because it has been hanging out this for a while, but it's like a 70-cent range. But it just popped up. The volume hasn't really increased too much here. But if it finally breaks up towards this 40, like I said, I want to be into the short again in this name. I know we've had it before. Want to make sure we maintain that one. Another name that was on the radar, I don't know if Brennan mentioned it, but this DTTW was one that I was watching this morning. Never actually got into it, but worth noting, the 7 o'clock bump that gets from retail was at 250. It's right at that 250 area. It's barcoding a bit. Sometimes these are pretty solid, where it holds a pre-market low. You get a breakout at 7 a.m. when retail steps in, and then you get back down to that price, and it retraces almost 100%. Not 100%, but almost all the way back from the breakout price. Holds the barcode, and then if the volume starts picking up, you catch a little breakout. So DTTW over there on the Amex, going to be one for that setup for me. Sometimes that's more of a lunchtime play, but it just popped up on the radar, so I want to make sure I had that one. I'm just holding on to that Pepsi position to the long side because it got shook on Blinn. Got shook out on AMC, although that's still heading to the downside there. BLIN trying to creep back up, but at this point, I'm playing the patience game. Still below VWAP, still a failed breakout at the high of the day, right? Failed breakout high of the day. Next level of support, either going to be that VWAP dip, opening range dip, or now I'm talking about this pre-market dip to 780. I have to sit it out till it gets back to that price.
Okay, so I'll answer this question here with the super chat. Thank you so much. Don't know 443. So I've always read that one should never add to losing positions. Yeah, probably a good advice based on today. Yet I do it successfully. Yeah, I mean, I've had like 11 or 12 negative days this year. So yeah, it's been working out for me. But again, you know, so how do we do it? Why do we do it? And when do we do it? I mean, again, today's a bad example because here goes Goldman about to take out the bottoms. You just have to try to find and be strong, a little bit strong in your convictions. Today, you know, there it goes. So there goes Goldman. So we tried Goldman today. We've lost more on Goldman today than we probably have on any other stock, almost in, you know, the month probably, or for sure in the month. But adding into these positions, not a good one, again, on earnings. But why do we do it and how do we do it? I mean, here, I can call up a chart. It's just about looking for spots, right, to get into. And then, you know, just believing in them. Like, this doesn't normally happen where you get straight red all the way to the downside. So you got to try to get out of the way of some of these trades. But again, there's my out. 372.50, right? So, or 373, right there on past days, previous resistance and support. So, depending, this would be support on the downside and then turning into resistance maybe now on the upside. But again, you know, how do you do it? I mean, I think you just got to find the right names, get into them, and then just, you know, keep playing. Like, don't average into weak names. Like a stock like Zila here, if you notice, this one went down and we were just playing off this 330 bottom. It depends if it's in the pre-market or not. But again, take that break upside. So this one I don't really consider averaging into a loser. We're one and done. Disney was a good one again because we talked about this. You know, we said that we liked the movement from yesterday. I mean, look at this. Often you get multi-day moves, right? So that was a big move yesterday. So we liked the average in on this today. So it comes all the way down. Notice where we average in. So this is the one lesson that I think everybody should learn. Not like my Goldman Sachs, where we just kept trying like every level. This one, we basically wait until we find a bottom. It bottoms out here at 182. We did some work. We told you that on the 20 period, the VWAP, and you can look at lots of charts, but you know, it came down here 182.50. We did have 181.50. We did have some consolidation here yesterday before we took off. So it's just looking for some of those levels and then not really letting the stock come down into you. Because if I did the same thing on Goldman, on Disney, we'd really be stuck here and it would just be back to a flat position. But that's a nice trade to the upside. So I think it's just about finding your spots, waiting for, you know, some kind of confirmation and then going. Obviously the futures does help as well. You often see me average into a position like on AMD. If the futures are falling and AMD is falling harder than that, then we'll take it in. So I try to look at the relationship there as well. Yeah, dry powder. Yeah, I mean, that's another one, right? I mean, I don't use as much of my buying power on all these trades. So it is about having some powder. And I mean, look at this. Here's another example. Here's AMC, right? So we get out, then we notice big volume with this wick, and then we get right back in. So now we have a 50-cent winner on board with AMC, right? Or more. We're long now AMC 39.50. So now upside 50 cents. So we take some profits, average in a little bit, get hit on that, but then buy it right back. So a lot of this is just being fast. Like I've made 74 trades today. You have to have that ability as well.
That's a big one right there, because like in order to do everything Sean's talking about, like, you have to have some experience doing it, but you also have to have it in your plan so that you're reacting quickly to price action, as opposed to it's almost like muscle memory is the best term here. Someone asked about Virgin Galactic. It got to 40 the first time. And I wasn't like, I'm not getting into it. You guys kind of know that until it tests that level a couple of times and rolls over. That's my preferred method of entry into a short off this level. I'll like that 41.20 much better like the morning, but it bounced off that 40. I didn't get it till 39.84, as you can see here. Will I take some out at this cluster, 39.60? Yeah, I'll absolutely take some out there, and then probably some more at VWAP. This is not the home run the morning trade was. I keep thinking at some point, I'm not saying I'm necessarily going to jump back into this in the long term, but I keep thinking at some point this move to the downside, the fail off 60, the positive, the successful launch, it's going to turn around and give you a nice little bounce, probably to that 45, 46 area. I don't know if it's today, but I don't want to get trapped in that move all in unless it's the best level. So Virgin Galactic, I will scalp this one out. I did take some shares up. You saw the bid that was at 39.60. I had mentioned as well. I'll go ahead and, I was about to hit the gates of hell. Here, I'll ride this one. Whoops. Oh, goodness, I hit the bull. I meant to hit the bear because we've only been short Virgin Galactic, but it heads back down to that downside. Wanted to scalp some profit in case it tests that 40 again, which it's doing right here, right now. So good thing we took that quick 25-cent win. Still holding some of that, though. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Worth mentioning, guys, we did get quite a pop in gold on that number this morning at 8:30. So just brought up the GDX, the minor ETF, getting above some significant levels from the past couple of days here. Looking very strong if you're looking for strength. GDX or any of the gold mining plays, worth a look so far today. It's 10:30. Let's get a look at what's happening over in Europe. 1 hour left in the session, Miss B. What's up?
Hey Brandon, European markets are flat. Watchmakers Watch trading in Switzerland is up around 1.5% as it returned to profit in the first 6 months of 2021, and its sales jumped more than 50%. Back to you.
Yeah, good to be back into earnings season, guys. The market, though, exactly flat right now.
Okay, so we're doing it again. We take a 373. So this is exactly what you don't want to do to anybody that's watching me right now. We are now back into Goldman Sachs on my worst trade of the day. We're just going to get out now. We're going to give this one $1 worth of room. That's it. You break down through 372. That's a problem. Thanks to Brendan on the note. It looks like Goldman Sachs there on their call, very, very worried and looking at Biden's executive order. So that's going to be a problem. We should have, maybe this is a trade for the afternoon show, but here we go. One more time, a little lower than 372, and we're going to be gone out of this one. Another loser, hopefully not, but that's going to be on board right now. Goldman Sachs will give it one more shot. Oh my God, like the only stock today that's doing this for us is Goldman. So hopefully we can get it back, but it'll be a big move if we're going to get this back, that's for sure. Microsoft, we just changed our our out. Like, I just cannot believe this stock. So we'll hit the money for this one, because this is 450 now in the money. We haven't got anything out. We're trying to hold for things a little bit longer as Microsoft now just rips up. Like, no idea. I just keep putting trailing stops. If you're following me on Twitter, this was my first one, $4 in the money. Kaboom, stop, 280.50, right? Now our stop, we just tweeted it out again there. Our stop is now going to be 281 break. So we're just kind of doing a trailing stop here on Softy. So 281 to the upside right there is going to be where we're going to get out. And then we're waiting for this to pop higher. We did take another short there and out, but now right like Neil's talking about, we're right at that 40 level now for space. So I still like a 41.50 break long.
Yeah, I actually got a 20-cent winner, and then took out like a 15-16 cent hit on Virgin Galactic, so it'll still be a decent trade there, but it doesn't continue down into VWAP. It's getting close, obviously to that level, and I'll take it. It was so good before. It's a double top at this point if you count the pre-market, obviously, which I do. I just said double top, so I am obviously counting it. I'll take a shot at a third time through. I can tell you, Zila continues to look ridiculously strong. It just broke that 450 level to that upside. I noticed it a little bit too slow there. And then OSAT was one of these other names. This is barcoding. Now, I know I got shook out of this trade. We're shaken out of that trade. I don't know. I still say Allen Iverson because the guy had the greatest handle I've seen. And I'm sure you guys can come up with a more contemporary name for you there. Maybe Skip to Malou. I'll date myself with that guy as well. He had some fantastic handles, but it shook me out. OSAT now barcoding and setting up for another run at that top. I said it was doing so before. It's looking just as good, but the volume has to pick back up. I'm looking halt 1360 break, but it might even be good off of 1310 as well, the tighter it gets to these levels. I'm still in Pepsi, and I don't have any strong reasons to get out unless we break back below like a 152.50. I started it lower. So like these last years I bought at 153. I'll take a hit because I keep buying higher every time it moves to the upside, but we've already made our money on Tesla. On Pepsi this morning, speaking of Tesla, I have not made anything on Tesla, of course, because it never hit my dip price. Virgin Galactic getting real close to that 41.20 where my stop has been sitting, and I want to make sure I get that short close. Is where we took it the first time at 9:30, around 455, 460, and then we got the top here at 40.85 on that 9:30 sort of rollover style trade. As it gets back to that price, I want to be patient. You want a good price getting into that 41.20 stop.
Okay, so we'll adjust it again as we're now $5 in the money now, clean 5 on Softy. So we're going to change that up a little bit here. Damn it, I wish we got some of those lower bids. Just going around canceling some of the stop orders here as we go. Oh man, Goldman, we do have a target upside. We're 50 cents in the money, woo-hoo. Considering what we've lost on this name today, 50 cents is not enough to go. We'll see if we can get back up to 375 a little bit before we take a little bit out there. Just maybe we made that bottom. I mean, the volume has not been nice here on the downside. I mean, we could take it out for 50 cents, but I mean, it's adding money to our pocket, so that's good. Microsoft, oh, this is what I want to tell you. We just did change. 281.25 is going to be our stopping spot there for Softy as we break through now that smooth $5. So nice little move upside. We can keep talking about it, but we don't have to. AMC as well, we withstand that drop. We've taken more long here right there. Get it back to the upside. It goes to 40.38. We'll see if we can test in and around here again, 41-ish, maybe for a decent out. We're long at 39.50. So, I mean, 41 may be a little bit, rose-colored glasses here, but we'll see if we can come back. AMC down that 6 and a bit percent. I still think there's potential. Goldman bouncing around, man. This stock has really been my only negative name here, so that sucks. What's up, Brendan?
This WBT moving again today to the downside. We talked about this. Going back to last week, Middleby, there was an offer for Well-Built. There was an offer for them, but Middleby coming out saying that they will not increase their offer, so you can have a look at Middleby or Well-Built guys moving in opposite directions, but a little bit of volume on both as far as relativity is concerned.
Yeah, and look, I mean, you're definitely going to get some interesting price action on some deals, I think, with the risk that's going to come in. And talking about, like, held up a little bit longer, so you might see a little more volatility. We talked a little bit about that, but less deals is obviously going to be bad for the investment banks and slowing them down as well. It just got the last entry. Well, I shouldn't say the last entry. I was going to talk about OSAT, but then here's the spike one more time. Back to the well on Virgin Galactic. It just stalled at 41, but I want to kind of come back here if I can and show you that I like that 41.20. It was the afternoon's action, and that was a resistance level, both in the post-market, but also on that breakdown of that 41.75 top. So a lot of people look at that even dollar range and only leave it at that. I'm staring at that 41.20. If it breaks out, fair enough. I didn't actually like this one to the long side unless we got above that particular price, and thank goodness I kind of scalped that trade out there. Now we're testing that same price level from before. Pre-market low was the out. I apologize for all these the missing data here, but I will be scalping this out the same way I did before. There is that cluster 40-30 down into that 40 even area where I'd definitely be taking some profit. Then you're looking to hold the rest down to this 39.20. Oddly enough, where it clustered before. If it breaks the low, that 39 seemingly unlikely at this point. I don't want to turn the winning day on Virgin Galactic into a loser. I'll be out of most of this trade, certainly before it has any chance to get back down to 39. It just feels a little bit stronger than it has last couple of days. Obviously, when you go down 20%, you're not going to follow with a 20% down day. I guess some stocks do. I just don't think Virgin Galactic is ever going to do that. It's positive on the session. At some point, it was going to turn around. 41.20 has been that price for me, but I'm still in the short until it gets there. OSAT just bounced a little bit, guys, and I don't want this one to get away from me because doing that nice little barcode. I was looking 1360 only. Now I just told you guys I like that 1310 for a break as well. The longer it holds this range. I'm not adding to my Pepsi position at this point at 153 even. It either breaks that VWAP at 152 or nothing. And of course, just as I said, I just said OSAT was looking like it had a chance to do that little cluster and break out. And then it does oops, I dropped to $11 move. So no need to put that 1310 order in there, guys. Let's see if it can actually, if it holds up this like 10, well, forget about $10. If it holds up this 11 even area, that could be good for a little bit of a dip buy, but I go tight stop on that. The bid just evaporated on OSAT out of nowhere, and I wouldn't want it to halt on me, but if it can hold 11 even, it might be worth a quick little scalp trade.
Okay, so far so good. Everything is fine. Microsoft now 5 and a bit in the money, and then we'll just celebrate this. I know I'm not on OSAT, but good thing I'm on Zila, as that is now $1 in the money on a $3 name. So good trading on Zila today. We haven't done anything. We're still holding this. We're trying to hold things a little longer, as you can see. It hasn't worked out for Goldman. It's worked out great for Disney there, as we only have a small piece left of Disney, guys, just to let you know. We have about 10% left of our position. We did get out majority here on VWAP, and then that 183 break there, so that was a good out. And then it breaks back down below VWAP, and we take that profit there now out for Disney. So we're watching that name. Goldman Sachs just continues to be a shit show on that name. So we'll go over to NEO right now, and we'll have a quick look here. Okay, so today it does something a little bit different. We go up first, and then all the way down. So right now, trying to build a base here for NIO. If I wasn't, let's see a little bit of a longer time frame. What are we, 1040 right now? Okay, so that's good. 3-minute chart, just to have a look at some yesterday levels here. This is what we did a couple days ago, and then so a couple days ago, my yesterday trade's not here, but we are right into this area. I still would rather it come down to 45.30 before I do anything on the long side of things, but that is a spot to look at. Even right now is not horrible, but look at the NASDAQ, man. Valeria's not wearing green, but we were a hella red early on the CPI number, bang, and now it's just like, you know, hold my beer, says the NASDAQ, as we just up now 0.65, and Microsoft all-time highs, 282. I don't know, is this all-time highs? I'm not even sure for Microsoft here. I'm so excited about it. Yes, it is. 281 past all-time highs. So now we're up and just rocking and rolling on the NASDAQ. The portfolio's going crazy today here. Too bad my bank trading not going crazy today on the show, but everything else, man. AMD, monster moves again up to 91. That's been a great mover for us. Nvidia's a great mover, and Zila still, man, still the champion of the day. Rip City on Zila, 485. Where do we get out of this one? Nobody knows, but how about 550, as that's its past high? Big screen, that doesn't look great there. Let's do some recapping here with Brendan.
Yeah, a bit of a tale of two stories today. If you have a look at this board, it looks pretty red, it looks negative, but we are actually still positive up here, 0.07, pretty typical for a day when you have individual names on earnings standing out, kind of offsetting. Others that are very weak, we'll start in the tech sector here. 1.4% there for Microsoft among the leaders. Apple down here about the same, 1.47. 4.9 for Apple. So those two kind of taking the entire group on their back. There's a few other ones of note here in positive territory, helping to offset some of the rest of this weakness, but pretty red otherwise. One group we haven't mentioned really all day, but energy stocks, guys, really negative so far today. Real estate is to the downside. There's ConAgra Brands. We talked about that briefly. 4.4% in negative territory off that earnings report. Right underneath it, though, Pepsi, 2.6% to the upside, kind of offsetting, but not quite getting there as far as the whole thing. Wanted to mention Boeing here, 3% to the downside on that headline today. It has been pretty weak. Here's the rest of the airlines, or the airlines, I should say. 2.8% to about 1.7. Travel names in general under pressure. I saw the cruise lines, there they are. All the cruise lines, some of the hotels here in negative territory, about 2% really weighing on the overall market. Still that lingering fear of the Delta variant in the background again today. This Ben in the financial group, 4.2% off of a report as well to the downside. So banking stocks, I should say, energy shares among the leaders for negativity today, but still the tech names offsetting that. So 0.07 for the overall S&P, guys. Back to you.
And Virgin Galactic, I should say, took out that top. I got out of it. I missed the long reversal, but I don't want to chase it too far. And Zila, first time I actually tried it for the short, was going to be in front of 5. I said 5. It touched like 4.99 just now, but I got 91s. The first time it went through, it touched like a 95. So I want to see if it can hold that price level. It's about a couple 100,000 shares, but not much. For stocks with 150 million shares, the level 2 is not that impressive on the offer. So there's not a ton of resistance at that particular price. We'll see what does happen there. Just got back in on a dip in Virgin Galactic because I had missed that original breakout. So I am now long around that 41.20, having missed it the first time.
Yeah. We went short, now we're long. Virgin Galactic, we like that 41.50 break, but now it's coming back down a little bit here. So pretty whippy, but look at the spread. I mean, not the spread, sorry, the tape. Like, this is very, very fast action here on Virgin Galactic. So we'll watch out for that one as it's still trying to go. But wow, what a big move upside. Look at the 1 day range here. Very, very choppy. I'm a buyer of this name in the 20s. We've talked about that. But right now we are stuck long. So we'll wait to see where we go. Short, and out. Short again at 40.40, then short again at 41.50, and then out at 41.50. So just back and forth with Virgin Galactic. Zila now $5 here for Zila today. So you're going to see some pre-market busts, and then the day break there at 390. So that's a good trade. Now you're wicking to the upside here. $4-5 Zila. That's probably going to be a decent out. We may just do that right now. Get out Zila $5, sorry, if it can go that high. That should be a good one for Zila, guys.
Yeah, and look, I mean, this is an epic battle that's happening here at $5 on Zila, by the way. I actually tried to, I just tried to get some more shares. I was adjusting my stop order while I did, but it just made a first tick down to 41 there, guys. I'll take a little bit out. I have a bid at 470 on Zila. Look, you got to be very, very careful when you're trading a parabolic mover like this. I mean, the only level I could find, of course, I talked about that 5, was going to be it. Virgin Galactic, we did just say, I mean, I just said I got into it. Okay, Zila pulling back, so that's fine. I can kind of come down a little bit with that. But Virgin Galactic, load up, please. It's holding 41 on this dip at that 41.20. This is me covering. I never got the long. Got on the way back down. Now it's holding that 41 level. So that's still a strong sign for space today, guys. I know at some point it was going to make a reversal. This could be it right here, right now. If it holds this 41, doesn't even come to VWAP, that'd be a strong mover. There's just so much room for this thing to come back in. 44, 45, let alone like what would be a good winner like 42.5. Which was resistance in the afternoon, and do come back, of course. We got our afternoon show coming up every single day. I promise you that'll be these names and more, because as wild as this morning has been, Power Hour is just as good, if not better, at fastest 45 minutes, as Sean likes to say. He's absolutely right about it. Still 15 minutes here. I just wanted to make sure everyone remembers to come back for the close show, because now into earnings season, you will get some great moves in the overall market, which we've seen today. Some of the fast movers, some names that'll have earnings and possibly aftermarket. Nothing crazy here today, but space should be one on that list, as well as OSAT and Zila, which, I don't know, Zila has been quite possibly, I think, the craziest stock of the day so far. It might be rolling over, but I'm telling you, as big of a battle as that was at 5, for it to still be holding a 480, that's a strong sign for this bad boy.
Yeah, I think we probably have a trade of the day here on Zila, buying these dips in the pre-market and then taking, you probably can't, well, here, it's a 3-minute chart, but there you can see, actually, if we go down to a 1 minute, maybe that looks a little bit better on Zila there. There it is, yeah, so you can see that, out, just getting out of all of these and then taking the break. We could have even bought back there. That was a missed opportunity back down there to VWAP. But again, when you're trading these stocks, I don't really use VWAP too much to tell me what we want to do here. But there's the out on Zila. We didn't want to wait for that $5 break, but there it comes right now through $5. So we did get out at an 89 there. Now it's breaking 5. Look at that size. You can watch it's with us. It's just going to take that out, I'd imagine. Just what? Nope, almost. There it goes. Straight through 5, so 5.505. There it is. So a little bit of resistance there at that 5.
Did it just do that?
And then a drop right back down. So you just saw that go up and down through 5 live. If that's not a reason to watch the show, then I don't know. I think we're doing pretty good. There it is. Look at that. Look at that out right there, guys. 488. So good thing we didn't punch long on Zila through 5 there. And even if you did, watch out. 550 was the top before. We've I don't know. Did we actually travel to $8 that day? 550, a nice little move there. We may now retrace back upside off that drop through $5. But at least you got to see that live. That was pretty exciting. What's up, Brendo?
So many things to look at today, guys. Another one that's having quite the day here. Upwork, UPWK, 11% here. 63.88 actually just broke. So 63.95, it's testing 64 right now. This is all-time highs for Upwork, guys, so UPWK.
Well, that's a big move. I can show you I got that second leg out, so I was able to get a nice little short at 95 again off of Zila, and I just gotten 481s out, and then there it is. Made the top wick at 505. I got slipped to 505 on that breakout, guys, but we actually made money on that short. Why? Because we took profit on our first double entry, guys. We take that profit in, and then we get a better price the second time through, so you're losing a little bit less. But that was that whole failed break where you almost want to jam back in, just wasn't fast enough. And I kind of targeted the area that I got in before, that 91 to 95. And when you couldn't get that, you kind of want to have that first price in mind. You don't want to chase any further. If you do take 80s, it did give you a little bit of a win there, guys, but I'm not going to chase it too far. I said Zila was pretty strong. That ended up being the case. The long was fantastic. I took it off too early off that 350 bottom, but the short to 5 was certainly that top. That's why I was looking at that and only that for the short trade. I'm still in Pepsi, but Virgin Galactic is the one. I'm not saying it's the one I'm probably going to have all lunchtime. I suppose it's possible that won't be true, but I want to zoom back. I'll go to like, you know what, I'll move this to like a 3-minute chart because it's lunchtime. I can go ahead and do that. That's what I do for the afternoon show. So as I move it to the 3, it's a little bit easier to see what we're talking about here. Like if it gets through these clusters, and this is at 41.20 where we're long off of that one now, and then you have that 42.50 area, and that was the real, just sit there at lunchtime before it broke down. So 42.50 does stand out. I'll take profit in front of that if it gets there. And then maybe even look for a 42.50 break as well, because the next level up, you're talking about 44s. It just fell so far that you knew if there was an update coming, it would be worth a hold. It was a home run short this morning off that same 930 setup that we know and love. It was a bigger trade doing that, of course, at 51, but it was still a good one doing it here in front of 41 as well on Virgin Galactic. It just feels like this could be the turn, and you don't want to miss out on it because it fell so far. Even coming back and filling in 20% of the gap is a great move for Virgin Galactic if it can do it here.
Okay, guys. Okay, so someone asking, what's up? I said I'd do this there. I saw a couple times there. Smokey the Bear. What's up, Smokey the Bear? Despite the wrong spelling of the name, we will go here and tell you that the volume -1 means absolutely nothing. It just means it's on this one chart, I guess. I don't know. I think that's what it means anyways. It doesn't mean anything, this -1. I actually don't know. I think it's just one.
I do know what it means.
What is it?
So like you can add multiple things to like the view where it's not layered on the chart.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
If it's the first one,
Your
then it has
first
the
view.
one.
Yeah, okay.
Thing.
So again, means nothing, but it means something to people trading with Day Trade the World and Prosper Pro charts. So that's what that means on that one. But other than that, absolutely nothing. We don't, I'll throw to Brendan in a second. We don't talk about, how many shares we have or what our profit is on the day, but my account does have an M in it, so you can take that for whatever you want. But let's go back over to the screen now if we are ready. Are we ready? I think so. We are ready. Let's go, Brendan, at the big screen. Hopefully the Canadian dollar is starting to move down, Brendan.
Indeed, we did get a spike, guys, in the U.S. dollar on that number today. So strength in the U.S. dollar means a lot of these going to be in negative territory. This is the DXY over here. You can see we went 92.20 up to about 92.70, which is near that recent high for the U.S. dollar at that 830 number. But well off the lows. Remember all winter, all fall, and all winter, and then into the spring, we were talking about 90 on the U.S. dollar. So huge bounce back to the upside. So there we go. The CAD down 0.5%, 79.8 once again for the Canadian dollar. The euro following suit, 0.3. British pound about the same, 0.3 to the downside. Everything else, I mean, little change, mostly in negative territory here. You can see crypto, same story. Ethereum 2.5% leading, back below 2,000 once again for Ethereum. Bitcoin 32,500, trying to hold. Pretty key area for some of these guys. Back over to you.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. And right back to this 40. So the breakout probably, could have taken some at that 41.50 level out on Virgin Galactic. I didn't do it. Maybe I looked that gift horse in the mouth. So every time I think it might have happened, I got to do this one. I actually had more hair when we shot that one. We'll see if I actually get back to that level of hair. But I kind of like that. I like the bald. Yeah, my wife liked it. I'm kind of trying to play it both ways here, guys. Like my wife likes the hair and my daughter likes it bald. So, and my barber I've been going to for 20 years. Great guy, I'm loyal to him. So I want to have some hair to get back in just to say what's up. That's why I got some back. But this Virgin Galactic, back at 41, it just held 40.70. So on the initial break, it pulled back to 40.70. And then when it just failed at 41.50 there, it pulled back to 40.70. So if I do a dip buy again, it would be around that range. Although I hate buying that dip, this far away from like that 40 even in VWAP. So I'll see if it can break through 50 here. If it can't, I'll probably buy a little bit at the dip at 40.70. If it does make the breakout, I'll take some out in front of that 41.75 and then hunt for a higher low that I can buy the dip. So that's the approach I kind of want to go here for Virgin Galactic. It is testing that 41.50. I'm now going to get an offer out for the first time. It'll be on the north side of 50 in front of that 75 mark. Let's go, Virgin Galactic.
Yeah,
I'm still
winner.
holding on to Pepsi because It hasn't given me that reason to get out. It's been good, but hey, the trend is still up till it breaks 150, 250. If that goes, I'll be out of Pepsi for the first time all morning.
Yeah, we got a big winner here on Virgin Galactic as well. We just took out some Goldman Sachs. So we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Big day continues. We just need Goldman Sachs to keep going. We did take a little bit out. I just didn't want to wait for this 375.50. So although I do believe it's going to be coming, we'll wait to see how much lower it goes. And I just want to clarify there, this is a prop firm, right? So we're not trading retail accounts. So if we say that, that's why we don't want to talk about our buying powers or anything like that, because it's not self-funded. This is a prop firm. We get a percentage of the money that we make. So it's completely different than everything you guys are doing. So it's not like trying to flex on the size of our accounts. Has nothing to do with that. It just has to do with the fact that we are playing basically with house money. That's how prop trading works, right? So you can go to daytradetheworld.com, figure that out, and then let that go. So it's just we have the ability to trade a higher capital that's not ours. It's the firm's capital. So has nothing to do with, like if I had $10 million in my account, I'd be cashing the hell out of that account right now and lowering that and putting that money somewhere else. So that's not the meaning of that. It's just that's why when we do talk about it on the chat, we don't necessarily always talk about, hey, I'm putting in 50% of my account into this trade, because I don't do that. Like I don't do that at all. Like even 5%. Like it's a completely different game. So that's just a little bit there, a little bit of talk about what we're doing and how we trade, possibly different, not possibly, but way different than retail. So look up prop trading if you are interested. Unfortunately, Day Trade the World does not, have traders inside of the United States. So that's a problem if that's for you guys, but look that up and hopefully you guys can join us. I know a lot of you have, and you can tweet at me any feedback about Day Trade the World would be fantastic as well. Virgin Galactic, great out, actually. I didn't even realize that basically it was the high tick there of the day, 41.52. We made the high going long 41.50, but then we bought more there on the dip, 41.20, and then we bought this dip at 40.70. Again, just to dip back into some of these highs. So we buy that and then we go to the upside and take that out. So right now we're sitting on a nice winner. This has been a roller coaster day to say the least, but we are getting back to positive land here, especially with Goldman Sachs starting to make a move. So my next out will be somewhere around VWAP. If we can get that, then we're laughing, guys.
And someone asked in the chat, like, where was my next long in Zila going to be? And I was about to say, look, as it was pulling back in below that 5, I was about to say, hey, look, I'll check back in. It would have been between 420 and 450, but it just broke the high of the day again. So, I don't know, you can throw that out the window because Zila is super, super strong. It's been going absolutely crazy.
Is it for 5? Oh my God.
Yeah, so sorry, it got to like 517 there, guys. So crazy mover. Of course, it's been a great one on Zila. I didn't take anything out because we didn't actually break that 41. It's actually 41.57. Check that on Virgin Galactic. It didn't break out. I was on the north side of that, like I mentioned to you guys. So if it dipped in after failing that again, I want to see it bounce off 70, and then I'll try to get more shares in on Virgin Galactic. And then we'll see if it can finally break that 50. But if I add at 40.70, I'm definitely taking some out. If it gives me 40 or 50 pennies, that would be crazy not to do, especially at lunchtime when things can be a little bit more range bound. So Virgin Galactic holding the high for now. But like I said, failed again at that 41.50 area. Now I want to see it bounce off 40.70. Only about 3 or 4 minutes to go. We're back, of course, in the afternoon for lunchtime, and I'm hoping we'll be back for another move in that OSAT. It was a nice little dip here. I was able to scalp some out that 11 dip, able to get some out for a quarter, and then right there stopping for a quarter. It was basically a flat trade. I want this one to bounce again, hopefully off that 10 even area. Brendo, what do you got for us?
Yeah, definitely join us back here once again, 3:15. We'll talk about what is coming up here in a second and more. But yeah, back into earnings, guys. So here we go. Aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow.
You get a few more banks.
Yeah, I mean, it's bank time. I'll probably be going short on banks tomorrow because, again, one of my biggest losers that I've had since starting this, Goldman Sachs today. But did Delta, I mean, on a rebound play, maybe. We talked about Southwest. We'll have Mark on tomorrow, so we'll see. I believe we'll have him on anyways. We'll see what he has to think about some of those banks. And then Delta, as we know that he likes Southwest. So those should be some good names there, PNC Bank. So, yeah, bank season is upon us, guys.
Yeah, I'll be a little bit more excited. I mean, well, personally, when Morgan comes out, they always come last, so it is what it is. They're coming on Thursday. It was definitely weaker than I expected. Although JP Morgan held up because I never actually got the bid on JP, so that held up rather nicely. Before we get out of here, we always do what national day it is, and it always makes me a little bit hungry. We had Timbits today. I was very disciplined. I had 2 Timbits. That is by far the most disciplined I've ever been when Randy's brought them in. I don't know if we'll have these for lunch, Miss V, but they do taste pretty good here in Canada with gravy and a little something else to give it away.
I love them with cheese sauce, Neil. Hey guys, thank you very much for trading with us, for watching the show. I hope you enjoy your day so far. And please make sure that your thumb up turn to the upside, because we need just 300 more likes to reach 1,500 of likes. So please guys, make sure you like this video. And if not, do it right now. We will see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time, and happy National French Fries Day, everyone.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everyone likes a French fry.
I mean, that's a go-to in my house. That's a staple there. French fries. If you have kids, the best side, because they just seem to like it. Doesn't matter where the fries are from. If you make them yourself, we have one of those potato slicers. We do like to make them yourselves a little more healthy on that side. I still can't believe Zila, guys, is still ripping faces off. Like, it's probably going to be the trade of the day, but that out right there, yeah, it was a good out because it goes back down to 470, but continues to rip up. If you're going to look at anything, 550. Well, it's funny because we targeted that area there before, but 550 coming into play for Zila. I still think that's a decent out if you have this. So that would be my call now. We got out a little while ago, but Zila, big stock for me today as space trying to come back. AMC also now 70 cents in the money. So the day's been great. You guys know we have 99 problems and Goldman is one. So that's my thing. Today we're still in the money $1, but it was a problem early.
AMC was a problem. I hate that name. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. I mean, they'll finally go long in AMC at that bottom there. Couldn't hold up. I love French fries. It's all about it. But poutine, someone mentioned correctly. Yeah, I was getting at poutine. Those of you guys south of the border, that is just with nice little cheese curds and also going to be some gravy. Got to be good hot homemade gravy. That's the good stuff. So poutine. Little treat that we like north of the border. Another day is in the books for us here today. We're right in the middle of earnings season, but the market rebounding. We're close on the ES, but the NASDAQ, as Brennan mentioned, squarely 0.5% to the upside, so Valeria didn't need to wear the green today. We're back at 3:15 for what will be an awesome close. And for the entire team, Valeria's being a little chatting with Trader TV Randy, who's in the building here, and for Brennan Wickens, myself, Neil Roberts, and Sean Cantina, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we'll see you at the close.
Bye-bye.
Bye.